how you move, how you get down. Take it to the dance floor, do it now. Tell the DJ to bring a new sound. Take it right back to the rhythm, let the bass roll out. Show me how you move, how you get down. Take it to the dance floor, do it now. Tell the DJ to bring a new sound. Take it right back. Tell the DJ to bring a new sound. 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 Tell the DJ to bring a new sound.
All right, folks, welcome back to VLE Challengers Cup 2, Day 9. We're coming back at you with the decider match in Group B between Salvation and Extra Life. And joining me on the call for this rematch between these teams is Storch. How you feeling tonight, man?
Feeling pretty good. I mean, as you said, second time these two teams have faced up against each other. First time Salvation took it in 2-0 fashion, and that second map, Sunset, was pretty close. But we are getting a different look at EXL here, Robbie. What are your thoughts on this? No Kusho, no Solar.
So this is going to be interesting. I know that Kusho was a very integral part to their system, just based off of the way he was playing that duelist role. And then Solar, you know, I think that his role is a little bit more replaceable when it comes to the team dynamic, but changing that duelist changes a lot about your pacing, right? Because duelist is a very niche role, in my opinion. I think that the way you play around it is important, and so seeing the way that they're going to change things up here is interesting. Now, that's 2 roster moves that EXL did, and I don't want to bear on the past, but looking at the matchup we just witnessed between Times and Corner Campers also thought that a roster move right before playoffs was the, solution, and I thought maybe it could be 2, but maybe they might have shot themselves in the foot with it. But this is 2 roster moves we have on Extra Life, and so that could have a big effect on their system coming into this, and they probably don't have a ton of prep coming into this match, at least the same that Salvation would have, since they've been together longer. So how do you think that dynamic might play into this?
Yeah, well, I think when teams are looking at replacing players on their team and trying to improve, they're only looking at the long term, and sometimes in doing that you can just lose sight of what's right in front of you and forget that, hey, we had chemistry with these other players, and now that's all lost, and so you're sort of starting almost from ground zero. Yeah.
System definitely has to be well thought out here. And to dig even deeper here, to talk about Salvation now, they obviously came out on top in the series the first time around, right? And they now have a rematch between them and Extra Life. Now, as of the players on this team, we looked at OK Vector the first time around, and he took the tournament by storm, just in his opening match, showing some of the best performances on Sentinel we've seen in VLE Challengers. And that slowed down in their second series, though. We didn't say his name as much, but on the contrary, Wowdex, the duelist for the squad, came to play against DSS Gaming, and I'm looking for him to get the squad hype here in this rematch, to show us that consistency that you need in these decider matches.
Yeah, absolutely. And I remember casting that game with you, Robbie, and we were very surprised. Very, very different score lines. Salvation, it just didn't look like they could get anything against DSS there. Even at times where the map might have seemed close on like map 2 there. It just DSS really surprising us.
Yeah. And then on the flip side, Extra Life, I mean, obviously they struggled the first time around, especially on Ascent. Very, very sparse scoreline, which was 13-4. But the second map is where things got a lot closer, right? We got an overtime 14-12 out of that matchup on Sunset. And that map may be an open door for this team coming into this, but I expect them to be banning Ascent, given it was their weakness against these opponents the first time that they met them in this tournament.
Yeah, no, I definitely see that as well. And, we're gonna take a look at the map bans here, Robbie.
Ooh, we did get the ban.
Yes, we see exactly that. We see EXL here, first ban, and they ban Ascent. You called it right away, Robbie. Now, looking at Bind, we have a Bind game, a Haven game, and then Sunset as the decider.
Yep.
I don't believe we've seen a Bind from either team. And Salvation picking Haven, I actually believe they lost that map to DSS, what was that, 2 weeks ago? And so they must have done some other prep work since then.
And correct me if I'm wrong, but is this the first bind that we're getting in this tournament? Because wasn't that like a decider map in most series, but also banned in others? I think this might be the first actual bind we're getting, no?
Yeah, I cannot recall another bind map being played, and it's going to be an interesting one. The way that you have to play bind, it honestly, the way that EXL was playing before seems to suit them. They seem to be very rush heavy, and that's what bind is.
And I just checked. We did actually have one other bind game. It was Ultralight Academy versus Fanatical Radiance. The October 27th game on week 3. So only one other bind game. The only one look we've actually got on that map in this tournament. And so I'm excited to see what the teams have planned for this because, you know, I know you caught the tail end of the last series between Corner Campers and Times. We saw some crazy innovation on Ascent. You know, and I'm very careful around the word innovation, but in that regard. But here on Bind, I mean, do you expect to see meta here or just something completely out of the sorts?
I mean, you mentioned meta on Bind, and when you say meta, this map, there's 3 comps that could be considered primary meta, I would say. And honestly, I hope to see a Yoru comp coming out. I think it's very, very, you know, very strong, especially against a lower elo team where it might be harder to dodge those Yoru flashes, might be easier to outplay your opponents. I think that type of innovation is exactly what's needed to win a series here.
Yep.
But looking at what's being covered so far,
yeah,
very traditional.
Yep. With the Gecko Fade on one side, and presuming Sad's probably going to be on the Fade, or Sky on the other side. Looks like we actually might be getting one of the many metas here on the map.
Yes, and I mean, you look at the Viper Brim, and recently, you know, not really any Sentinels have been being played on Bind. We say that as Law tries to, you know, put a little fast one on us, or like a bit.
Yeah.
With the 8 switches. But yeah, no, the Viper Brim just so versatile. And a Yoru coming up. Yes, Sad, we got it, Robbie. And the Harbor.
Wait a minute. Yes. What a pleasant surprise right there. Oh wow.
I love the Harbor. Doesn't pair amazingly with the Viper, I don't think, but no. It is very creative, and along with the Gecko, a lot of people will think of that, you know, big Cove wingman for plant. But I think what's even more useful than that is the Cascade with Dizzy thrown behind it. You can stop the Cascade, Dizzy pops through. At that point, it's essentially a KO pop flash out of a smoke.
Yeah. And one thing I want to talk about Bind as well is post-plant. Now, one of the many things on Bind that is very unique about it in that post-plant regard is, and I guess Ascent as well, is you don't really have positions where you can just play that post-plant spam, right? So you see a lot of teams prioritizing post-plant utility in a lot of ways. So that's why you see that Brim Viper, you've got those mollies, right? You've got that Gecko Raise, right? Access to the nade and also Mosh Pit. So there's just so many different just like AoE abilities that are good for the post-plant on this map. And so looking at the Extra Life comp here, I think this is really good for post as well. You have that raise, and you're probably going to use the nade on the takes, but you still have access to the Yoru who can just fight into spaces, use the gate crash to get out, just cause a nuisance. You've still got those Viper mollies, the Gecko Mosh, but Harbor is the agent I actually want to talk about in this comp because he's really good at taking space in retakes. He's really good. You throw those cascades forward, you go for spaces, flash right through them with the Yoru and Gecko Flash. You have a bit of a super flash actually with those two. Usually Sky is paired with that. And then you've also got that Cove, which is just so good for diffusing as well. It just adds an extra layer that you have to deal with in those post plants. So I'm excited to see how they play around this.
Yeah, absolutely. And another thing with the Harbor is that it's just so nice. They can't even peek through the smokes on the post plants because then they're just slowed, and it's just such a disadvantageous like position to be in to swing out of that smoke that it's just not worth it. And the spam has to come down. You can counter spam, and so it might even affect the type of rifles that Salvation are going to buy.
Yeah, this is really cool. The last time I saw a Viper Harbor, and usually I get stuck in old times, but the last time I saw Viper Harbor played on this map was actually by NRG back in the Finesse Som days. And it wasn't this exact comp though. We didn't have the Yoru and Gecko to pair with it, but I'm really excited to see, you know, how those agents play with it because I think Gecko goes great with Harbor. Harbor's really good at locking down, moving forward into spaces, getting entrenched, right? And then you have that Gecko to even further, you know, puncture those spaces. So I think there's really good opportunities with this comp on attack especially.
coming to this first round here, Robbie, looking towards a Showers fight. Vector and Wowdex coming towards Showers for the C2 side. And for EXL, Sad, Law, and Dom trying to fight it.
Yep. Here we go. Tip of the spear. Dizzy.
Law, ready to
Looks like
splash
it's
through.
Yeah. There it is, right off the back of the tap. They try to get ready for it, but it wasn't enough. Winning out the fight's going to be EXL there.
But look at the HP for Ether, Sad, and Law. All, like, almost one tap to that Ghost. And as I say that, Sad's going to fall to Zirconium. And now it just feels like Salvation have such a big advantage in this round.
Yeah. Advantage indeed, but look where Silver has found himself. All the way back B site, and you see the rotations coming through for B. Audibles from Silver in this mid-round. Does have the Glock skin in hand. Looking to play towards back site, but Sirius, he's sniffing out the same thing here. Looks like they both expect it. Takes a Viper to know a Viper. Wingman coming through for the plant. And they're 1 HP back there, but Silver able to go for the trade here. And as you said, that low HP, it's very dangerous for the side of Extra Life here.
Yeah, and Silver trying to maintain this 2 position. But will he be able to? Stuck in a 1v2 on site, and Ether has to play off. Silver able to find 1, able to find 2.
Ooh!
Round round for him, and that's a big round for EXL. Did not expect them to win that after that chip damage early.
Yeah. And big round indeed. You said it so well. That was very well played by Silver, and even the crossfire created from Hookah there. Very nicely handled, and that's exactly how you want to start things off if you're Extra Life here. Get that pistol round going. Get all the confidence on the board. And, I mean, they even already have a Phantom in the hands of Dom. They've got Bulldogs for Sad and Aether. And then they're looking for Silver to stack that economy. I mean, they're playing this real good so far.
Now, EXL looking towards this A site again. Salvation gonna give up this shower space. They recognize that they don't really have the weaponry to deal with it. Do feel like there's a lot of close corners. Maybe they're missing out on some sort of chance here. Silver playing for the listening here on B. Doesn't hear anything Hookah, and looks like the team's just gonna hit A.
Yep. You see that Fade Eye coming through the TP as well to find that short presence towards B. None found, so they're keeping the stack here towards A. Granted, they don't have the gun advantage, so you see them trying to play these long angles. Extra Life trying to force out any mistakes that they can from Salvation in this round. Gate crash going towards U-Haul. There it is, Aether already in on this one, looking for that back side control as well. Wildex trying to put Spanner in the works, not able to get it done. Dizzy recollected. Aether gonna have to concede this space pretty soon. The close range gunfights, and that's not a gun you want to be giving up. But Law has a response, takes down Wildex and Zirconium. And so far, really good responses from either side in this round. Sirius can get extra damage here. Oh, the shots, no! It's not how you want to do it. And OK Vector left by his lonesome in the 1v3 here to do even more damage if he can, but so far 2 picks taken down by Salvation. And as the spike goes down, they don't want to give up these ult orbs, so they're going to play it smart.
Vector just looking for these exits here. Might be able to get off. Law doesn't look like it though. Can't quite find a pick, but still, you know, a decent save round for Salvation. Able to get 2 of those picks, stacking towards the Nightmare and the Orbital Strike. Could be really big ults coming on board early maybe. But as I say that, Law, he already has his Thrash. How do you think that's going to play into this round?
I mean, this right here, Bind is all about those close-range gunfights. You and I both know. And so I think this Thrash, he's going to run this thing right through Shower. There it is. It's already in his hand. Run it right through Showers, get raised double blast pack in there. And it's going to be bloodshed there. And OK Vector's going to have to be careful. Here we go. Moving right into the round here. Showers control taken. There's the Thrash moving right on in. OK Vector looking to bait it out. Now, this could be strategic from him, but they're taking into the space. He has gotten away from this one, though. Wildex going down to the Vandal of Silver towards short, though. Does open things up into this round. OK Vector buys Lonesome towards triple, but Sirius out here with the support, and there it is. Playing the site together very well. High Tide comes through from the Harbor on the attacking side. Cascade to follow things up. There's the Dizzy, close range gunfights like we talked about. Going for the plant here, but Sirius is doing the damage so far in the round. But a little bit overcommitted there. Dom going to take him down. Wingman gets the plant. And now we're going for a retake here.
Yeah, and EXL using this comp exactly the way it's supposed to be used. You know, just going right at them, obscuring all those sight lines, getting that bomb down, and just playing off. And now, Salvation in a 2v3 retake. So I'm going to come down. Vector gets a kill. Wingman defusing.
The Wingman!
He's going to find the ball.
Ooh!
Out. Vector with 3. Good round nonetheless from EXL, able to get 3 rifles down.
Yeah, and we saw that last series, Storch, on the Abyss map. There were so many rounds where times were able to get diffuses right in front of corner camper's face. And this right there was just that same situation. The Wingman going down, spams weren't able to come through. They had no mosh pit, no paint shells as well, so nothing to deal with that post plant. And a bit of an awkward engagement, but nonetheless looking to regroup here.
Now, a little bit of a switch of pace here from EXL. They're going to go for this B. Not going to be tagged out by the flash early. Feels like Leo is just throwing that a little too early into the round. Not really able to get that info. Roomba going to crack out, or going to catch out the long players. 3 members of EXL all the way up long here. Ether ready to nade back sight. Does. Looks like they're about to hit.
Yep. There's that high tide coming out to confirm things. Mosh pit does stop them right at the doorstep, but the Wingman has gotten through the choke point, and it's still going for that plant. They haven't even had to take site control to get that to happen. So here we go, 5v5 retake here. A lot of utility exchange from both sides. Cascade to stop the push from coming back site. Sirius by himself in this currently, but see this flank coming out from Zirconium. This might be big, but he gets spotted out by Aether. Still hits the shot, though. Going for the control additionally. Silver looking to make things happen with Arcane V2. The Prowler comes right on through, does hit the headshot on the pre-fire, but going down through the smoke is Wildex. And there it is, a full cleanup from Salvation and a great response, and there's the defuse to come through.
Yeah, and Robbie, we were talking before the game about how last series against DSS, Vector really was struggling to get on the board there. This game, off to a hot start already, has his ultimate online, 5-2 with 6 assists. You know, both controller players for Salvation doing a really good job getting into this game early.
Yep. Yeah, and Brimstone has a very versatile ultimate on this map as well, so that's something you want to get online nice and early.
Looking back towards A here, they're opting for a full 5-person push on A. Orb's gonna land. They're looking to contact up into U-Haul here. Vector is ready for it. What's he gonna be able to find?
Ooh. Molotov comes through, but he finds nothing off the back of it. And that's value you expect to see coming through, especially with all the footsteps, but nonetheless, there it is. Nightmare comes right on through. Full retake scenario here, and Sad catching all of the heat over here towards U-Haul. Nonetheless, we do have the Viper's Pit down on site, and Sirius already recovering 2 of his own. Silver with a response on his Zirconium, but now that they have their sound back, it's such an awkward engagement here by Wildex and Leo. How are they going to get into this? It looks like the plan is for Wildex to go over here towards U-Haul. There's one. Check. But as that spike starts to change tempo, going to have to speed things up here. Pick comes through, but the Thrifty coming out from Extra Life and playing in the Viper's Pit very well with the Arsenal. And a great response.
And one of the main things that we talked about prior to the match start was how aggressive EXL like to play and how this is going to be really good for them on a bind map. And we're seeing that right here. Just full sending onto site, Viper ult goes down. And they just are able to take the space so quickly. Salvation, they need some kind of response. They need to get this fade going with the Rays. These nade seizes can stop so many pushes, get so many picks. And they're just putting both initiators towards B.
Yeah, you're absolutely right. That initiator duelist dynamic is something that's so important on this map. To gain control of that space, concede it successfully, but Thrash was the plan for them this round, going through showers. Right now, Sad coming out, fake out going through, and the flash comes right After the orbital strike, onto the side, and Aether trying to take space over towards U-Haul, shut down completely. And the defensive hold is very strong here. Absolutely nothing being given up by Salvation. Knocking on the door is Extra Life, and Salvation are slamming it in their face right now. Odin's spamming right on through. And the only real point of contention here is Silver towards a short position, but the Haunt catches him right on out, even whiffing onto it, and gets taken down. And once again, it's going to be a spam fest. Can't get it done. Law does get his first pick with the mosh pit there, but goes down to the Odin of Leo, and there's the third round for Salvation.
Yeah, now that's two pretty big ults used there for Salvation. I believe they used the orbital strike, right, and the Viper's Pit. Gonna be really far off of getting both of those, and you know that Gecko ult, only one used for EXL, so farmable on this map. EXL right now really relying on Silver and Law. The rest of the players need to get into this game to really secure some kind of advantage. Early fight gonna come down from Sirius. Silver unable to get the pick. Aether now fast into Hookah. They're looking to hit B here.
Looking to hit B indeed. Sirius here to fend things off though, and this time you do actually have that Initiator with the Duelist, even though Initiator playing pretty passive towards Elbow with the Odin in hand. But what I like about the change of pace in this round is this aggression they're showing towards Hookah and looking for a response off the back of it, trying to play to their arsenal. Dizzy in hand, still not coming out onto the site. Engagement very awkward. There's a lot of utility being exchanged, but not a lot of space being taken. However, Zirconium, he's found himself slipped all the way through towards the attacker's spawn, and right now, that's something they're going to have to deal with on this rotate. He might catch all three here, Storch. Oh,
yeah, and they go absolutely huge here, but he decides to go back towards spawn. Doesn't hear, but Wall's going to come up, and now he's back on the flank. Very fast, he's going to hear this Dizzy come through. Here's the high tide.
30 seconds left.
Here he goes. Plant's going down, he's going to allow it. And he's making noise, doesn't get spotted out. Law going to get picked out from the flank. Zirconium now has all the pressure on him to win this round. Trying to get help from Sirius, but Sirius is only 6 HP coming into Hookah, or Lamps. Can't really help out here. Rowdex able to find one. And now, all members on the site for EXL are dead. All that's left is the Lurk, Silver, Deep CT. Can't spot it anymore. And that's the round for Salvation.
yeah, and I mean, it was so dismantled from Extra Life as well. So many spots here and there they could have played together a little better. I saw the idea over there around U-Haul, but it got really awkward. There was no bait and switch setups. They were kind of deciding, did they want to push backside? Did they not want to? So looks like this timeout here is to get the players a little bit more situated there on that micro.
Yeah, love the coach name, Crusty Old Bread. Let's hope he makes some fluffy new strats for EXL. I think they've been showing some really good, start of round strats. What's really hurting them here is, not even the mid round, it's the post plant. And also, Sad, Aether, and Dom really struggling to get into this one. They can't keep relying on Law and Silver. And we see that here as now Salvation takes their first lead.
Yeah. I mean, it's a pretty close affair. I would say that already, based off of their first matchup together, obviously this is already a better performance on map 1. So I think that this timeout here is good. It just keeps them into the game, keeps Extra Life in it, because we talk about it, man. If you let that bleeding start early and you don't stop it, before it becomes too much, they can just easily run away with the game. So this right here, presumably not only to get the micro a little bit more situated, but also to get the nerves back in place.
Yeah, and the coach is going to put them on this sort of default look where they're trying to draw rotates from pushing Hookah early. Zirconium's going to clear out showers. They have, the intel that A is clear. And as soon as this B comes through, they get the pick onto Sirius. These rotates are going to get drawn out, and Zirconium already going to rotate.
Down, B.
Law down now as well, and the round's going to slow down.
Yep. And Wildex did a lot of damage. He killed the Gecko and dinked Aether through the little bit wall there. So a lot of damage done by Wildex already into this round. And I will say that has put a little bit of a wrench into the plan of Extra Life this round to pull those rotations. And even Silver, when he puts that wall up, that haunt comes right on through. So far, systematically, this is looking really good for Salvation.
Yeah, and sad, he's trying to get a late lurk, but they were aware of the lurk area earlier, and now they have to re-clear it. So maybe Sad's gonna get caught out. Zirconium likes to come behind, and now the rest of EXL scaling all the way up B. Ether, nade back sight. Wowdex counter nade might catch out Ether. Wowdex gets Ether, and now it's gonna be a really hard fight on B.
Ooh.
Yeah, there's Wowdex.
Even invests the Thrash. Wait a minute. He's going to find him. There it is. Yeah. I mean, that
14
might have
seconds.
opened up this round. They have to get the spike.
10 seconds left.
They did? Wait a minute.
Last player standing.
Wait, they've completely turned this around. Extra Life, where have they salvaged this one from? And all of a sudden, Zirconium finds himself in a 1v2 here. Dimensional Drift, available to Extra Life here. Presumably not going to have to invest it here, but I was surprised by the Thrash, and even then, he gets caught out while he's in the animation. So Zirconium, looking for an angle here. Here's one of the footsteps trying to confirm it, but what a one-tap from Silver. Ending things off there in that round. Extra Life staying in it.
Silver absolutely popping off right now. Reminds me a bit of, you know, we did back when he was on Axet. We saw him carry them through a lot of earlier tournaments in VALORANT. Even on Bind as well.
Yeah.
You know, when Viper wasn't even like used as often as she is now, Axet still, you know, used that as one of their comps, and Silver just really reminded me of him right now.
Who's next? Time to
Sad gonna use the ult to come here.
smoke.
Dimensional Drift gonna clear it through lamps, gonna spot out Vector. Can he find the kill? Decides not to go for it.
Yep. And look at that. They have that fade raise we were talking about over towards Showers. There it is. And the haunt comes right on through along with the Nightmare. Plant taken down. And right now they've dealt with it well, leaving the Cove out of the picture here. But the fights are a little bit overcommitted so far. Dom getting off the first pick there. But what is that showstopper? Completely misses every opportunity there. And even Sirius going down over towards Hookah. Counter showstopper coming right on through Aether. Looking for the shot here. Doesn't get it towards backside, but does get the wall bang to follow up. And Extra Life have handled this so well so far. Odin, oh my goodness. So much damage coming through from Leo there. All those dinks, but I mean, a 1v3. He's got Odin. He's towards heaven here. This is going to be a difficult one to come into.
Ooh, Nade's gonna get a little bit of chip. Not a lot. He's gonna try and go for a little bit more here. Doesn't look like he's gonna be able to, unless he can isolate a pick against maybe Ether. And Wingman gonna come down onto bomb. Busy up. He has to try and defend his Wingman and try and save. He's gonna find the pick onto Ether, unlock, gets the trade. And there's another round from EXL.
Yeah.
We saw a timeout come back clapping. And 2 rounds, EXL take the lead. Looking really, really good from them. I think Salvation, they did get the idea to position Fade and Raze together for that nade sees, but what they're missing now is, you know, the realization that it's Wingman planting every time. That nade sees, it's not going to get a pick onto anyone. You have to try and find other uses for it. Clearing out a cubby, you know, just something like that.
Yeah, you're absolutely right. Variety in those types of agent picks, so important. Now this round, it's something a little bit different here. Looks like both teams were opting in to fight towards a short space, but I mean, look at how wise Salvation are to this one. I'm going to get a little bit aggressive here, coming out from B. And they're already behind him. I mean, the Thrash is coming through, and the attention is diverted. And they're completely behind them, looking for it. There he is, gets the first. Looking for the second. Got a little bit awkward there, and Leo still alive, though. He recovers a Vandal. Dizzy to come on through. Oh, my goodness. Yeah, oh, my. He's in their spawn. What is going on? And I'm guessing it's that second harbor wall that came through. He just completely slips past the defense and takes down 2. Make that 3. Silver completely taking the round into his own hands, capitalizing off of the high tide, slipping through CT spawn. There it is. And those are the kinds of plays that you want to see if you're Extra Life.
Yeah, and here comes the timeout out for Salvation. You know, I really do like how these timeouts have been used here. I think usually I dislike the early timeouts in games, but I don't mind it here the way that EXL used it, because they were letting the momentum slip a bit, and their comp, it just looks very attack-sided. They want to prioritize as many attack round wins as they possibly can.
Mm-hmm.
And then this response from Salvation, they just need to find a grip here. They just haven't been able to get a solid group of rounds going.
Yeah. And I mean, Extra Life have already done a lot of their job too, because I think this comp is even really potent on defense as well. With that Harbor Viper, there's so much stall potential, and the amount of fights that you can get out of this Yoru, Gecko, Raze, trio here. You just pick any side of the map and just start fighting. Probably Harbor, Yoru, and Raze sticking together, maybe even just the Gecko. So they've done their job. They've secured 6 here, so at least got that tie on the attack half, and already better than their first map in their first series against Salvation.
Yeah, big improvement already, as you said. And Silver, really got to give him the credit for that one. This is his 3rd Viper's Pit this half, Robbie. This is obscene. Looking towards early B. All 5 members of EXL grouped. Leo, ready for the flash. He's waiting a bit more here. Might be able to catch out Sad and Beck. Sad and Dom. He's able to. Gets the contact. Rotates coming through from A now, leaving Vector alone in showers, and 4 members of Salvation all grouped up B, ready for this hit. Big trades coming out here.
Ooh. Yep.
Spike down.
I mean, the trades were so good, but the entry came out so awkwardly. But Wildex 3 on the round already, looking really good here. Sad. Left to try to clutch things out. 1v4 here as they close out on him. He's gonna have to be careful with the positioning. Odin goes for the spam. Wildex with the second peek. 4 on the round. And there it is, Salvation with a really good response off the back of that timeout.
In the half.
Yeah, and I think that's something we've seen very consistently from Vision, even in the DSS games. Every time that timeout comes out, I think they've had a 100% round win off of a timeout. And, focusing on that one round as opposed to the next few rounds is a choice for sure, but having that very detailed, idea from your coach can be so important. Now, Ether, I clear out short alone. Vector, catch contact here. It's 3. And Zirconium able to
Spike
find what gets
down
traded off
A.
by Silver. And even Pixel. Good. Salvation actually down a number. Viper's Pit gonna come down here. Last round of the half, and Salvation, this retake does not look good for them.
Spike planted.
We have an operator in hands of Sirius there, going for the spams, not able to land any down, but we do have a flank from Leo here, Odin in hand. Gonna have to play it a little more patiently here. Right now, they're all 3 in different positions, but if they play this well, they do have them kind of closed in. Sirius, not able to recover a rifle into this, so retaking into a Viper's Pit with an op is so difficult, and even Leo going down on that flank just further confirms the fate of this round. Investing the shorty into it. He goes in. I mean, first pick does get taken. Wildex trades him, and they got it down to a 1v1, but at the end of the day, Extra Life take away that last round of the first half, 7-5.
Yeah, I mean, great half from EXL there. Really showing that, they've learned from that first time they played Salvation. Probably done some VOD review here. Seems like they've picked up on some tendencies, and coming into this defense half, I'm looking for them to get a little bit aggressive. They don't really have the passive playstyle right now. Like, apart from the Viper and maybe the Gecko, everything else has to be, you have to try and capitalize off of it.
Mm-hmm.
Now, coming into first round in the second half. Here we go.
Already Viper's wall. It's heating things over here towards short, but that fight really aggressive towards showers. You can already see the game plan coming out from how these defenders are going to play this Dom. Completely caught out. Nothing left in store either. Bodies just all dropping for extra life. And right now, Salvation have a really good hold onto what they're doing here on A. Right now, Sad and Silver left here in the 2v4 to do the damage. Spike going to be planted here. Is aware of one over towards U-Haul, but I mean, it's such hard to come into this. I mean, you've got Brimstone back there playing for lineups. You've got Crossfires all the way towards bench. There's just no way to get into this one. So Sad left by his lonesome. Looking to try to get a 1v4 clutch here. It'd be huge, but he's going to have to go quick. Not even sure if he's aware that OK Vector's got lineups here. First point of contact is made, and there it is. Peak comes out, and that's Salvation's round.
Yeah, very well played round from Salvation there. Feels a bit like EXL. They just tried to, get a few picks in disadvantageous peaks, and they just seemed to give up the site a bit, I think. They were sort of caught in limbo of, do we want to push? Do we want to hold? What do we want to do here? And that indecisiveness ultimately kills them. Back towards this A. Law. Try and look for some sort of way to use this Dizzy to spot out. Doesn't quite get it in Syria. I'm gonna find a huge pick. Ooh. And a dink and a wall dink coming out from Leo before he dies. Dom getting just rushed in lamps. Gonna hit Zirconium for 100. Now, there's a few members that are low on Salvation, but they should be able to secure this round pretty easily. Yeah. I mean, you can't do much better than that on an eco or on a bonus boost.
Yeah. That's around the time where I also start to think about how that A setup's working out. You know what I mean? For extra life, especially because I expected a couple changes to come out here. That Showers fight isn't really advantageous for them, especially given the utility that Salvation have access to. So they're going to have to play around it just a little bit differently. We saw how that worked out on Pistol round, just the picks coming through immediately. And the same thing happened that round right there. Now, regardless of the weaponry buy on both sides, that's a very important space to have control of during post-plant, or U-Haul, of that matter. And so either Salvation has to get a different look at it, or Extra Life is going to have to approach it differently.
And EXL still opting to play for these close angles, even though they have the better guns. Very risky move, and Wowdex about to meet Dom. And he's able to find the pick. Huge pick, and that's a rifle down.
We love Fortnite.
This Silver SMG, so good. Catch this long aggression.
Oh, okay. All right, there's two.
Yeah, I mean, he fights both. That's his job. And Leo, back turn, 1 HP. Silver, not quite able to find the pick. I honestly don't know how one of those bullets haven't hit Leo already.
Yeah, me too. I actually thought he killed him for a second. Oh, all right, there we go. Trade comes right on through. It did. It looked a little bit scary there, but Silver definitely doing the damage.
Yes, free gun, by the way. Silver, though, absolutely popping off this game. And the way EXL are using this Yoru, I have to say, Robbie, there are a few ways to use the Yoru. You can use him as an entry duelist, you can use him as a lurker, or you can use him as an extra flash initiator, which is, sort of what this comp is telling me they want to do, but it's not what they're showing me they want to do. And I think it's what they need to do. Gonna catch out this early Showers aggression. Ether gonna try and fight through. Viper wall gonna drop.
Oh, there it is, Aether, yup. Two found for him into the round. That is nice from him right there. Macros coming into play. Zirconium playing a dance with the devil here towards short. Blocked off by the Cascade. Gonna have to save this rifle here.
Yeah, and a minute left in the round. It's gonna struggle to save it.
Yeah. They're on the hunt.
He's not aware that that was a fake clone. They got caught out. And Silver, who else but Silver to seal the round? We just talk about this stat line, Robbie. 22 and 9 on Viper.
It's crazy.
In that Ascent match, like last time they played against Salvation, he was 10 and 16. And then in that second match, which was much closer, he did have a 2022 score line. But what he's been doing so far in this series is not at all something that we expected.
Yeah, definitely showing up here. Looks like the shower's control. It's looking exactly the same here by Extra Life this time. No budges from Salvation, so space is going to be given for free. This time they have their eyes on long here. Sirius trying to decipher what the reactions are in this space based off of the last few rounds of aggression towards A. He's going to be running into Sad here. Fell asleep at the steering wheel just a little bit, but he does get the kill. Zirconium, backup plan here. Spike still down in spawn, so you see they just kind of want to work this map, get as much damage as they can, maybe even a plant.
Yeah, and they're aware that he could be in hookah. You see Silver looking towards it, and the rest of Salvation contacted up A. Silver able to find the pick, and nobody is going to rotate from EXL. Very, very well played from them. Wow, Dex is going to burst through, going to catch bomb off. Gets a free rifle. That's a big pick.
A little bit overzealous there by Wow Dex. Just has to play that a little bit more careful. He recovered the rifle, and that was the hero of the round. He just goes down there, but Leo, backup plan does work. 4 bullets left in the chamber, but indecisive about getting out of the smoke. There it is. Wait a minute. Leo looking for the transfer there, but a little bit labored on the second one. Law able to follow up, and there's round number 10 for Extra Life.
Yeah, and despite that round loss, I think that Salvation are going to be very happy with that round outcome.
Yeah.
You know, they got 4 of those rifles down, really hurting that eco. You know, they do have a few more rounds of buy left, but anything counts at this point. And Leo, with 6,200 credits, it really looks like if Salvation lose this round, he's going to be that hero rifle going into the next with, you know, Spectres on everyone else. Now, I want to go back, Ravi, and talk a bit about how EXL are utilizing this shower space. I think, you know, this is where you really need that fade or that sky. That Gecko flash, you just can't afford to lose it that early in the round, nor the wingman. And so, maybe positioning the Yoru would be better, but the out micro from EXL is scaring away Salvation, and they've just decided to respect the showers.
Yeah, which is interesting, I mean, because I feel like they have an easy answer to this. I mean, Gecko, I feel like Yoru might play a little bit better around the shower space, but Gecko can definitely get the job done. You really just have to be skilled in how to utilize that Dizzy so that you put it in a spot where you can gather it after the showers fight, right? Because in that showers fight, you're either completely getting pummeled or you're keeping control of that space, just like any other, you know, neutral territory that you fight for, right? And they're really prioritizing that, so I'd like to see them switch it up a couple rounds here and there, because I think pretty soon Salvation's going to catch on to it.
Yeah, and Viper's Pit coming down early here towards long. Sad and Silver going to play towards here. Spam going down. Nobody's going to find anything despite the bullet tracers. And a lot of util being used here from Salvation. They don't want to give up on this. The flank comes through, gets Sad. Zirconium finds it through the smoke onto Silver. That is a giant pick. And now 3v4 retake. But Thrash and Showstopper online for EXL.
Yep. And they're not opting to TP away from this one as well, so Spike gonna go down. Paint shells invested towards backside there. High Tide coming into the retake here. Dizzy out of the hands. There's that Thrash. And now got the ultimates coming through, and Showstopper landing onto Wow Dex. Aether looking for more control back here, but the High Tide makes it a little awkward. Still getting a pick at the end. Law the one looking for making a defuse happen into this round with a shot there onto Akvector, but takes down Law. At the end of the round is Leo. And now Salvation find their 8th win.
Yeah, and Salvation, they've realized that, you know, every time they've tried to contest showers, they end up dying, and, you know, EXL, they just get out like a squeaky clean. And so they've just pushed B relentlessly, throwing so much util, and Zirconium able to find 2 through a smoke that round. Insane from him.
Yeah. And I want to mention they really they put on a masterclass of how to handle that Viper's ultimate towards Long as well. I mean, Extra Life didn't plug their own holes there. They allowed them out of that hookah space just to wrap around, and they just got pinched from both sides. Made it very difficult. Now, going into this round, it looks like a Showers approach here from Salvation, but what's interesting here is this time Extra Life is completely conceding this space and playing back onto the site. And there are 4 here. Orbital Strike comes through, looking for the control. Wingman to go through, looking for the presence, and it is there. Aether down to really low HP, looking to regain this hookah space, but I mean, this is such a nuisance to play around. But he turns around at the wrong time. Aether able to get 3 on the round. He was 1 HP in Law, taking down Zirconium from Showers, and there it is. A defuse for Extra Life in 11th round.
And Robbie, in my opinion, for Extra Life there, that was a masterclass of an IGLing round. That pre-round was phenomenal. They had the eco to force up, but then they realized how many ults their opponents had, and buying disadvantageous guns would, you know, just worsen their position. And so they decided to go for the save there and draw out the ults from Salvation, and then the incredible micro that round from Law and Aether to win that. Just incredible. And very, very convincing right now from EXL. It's going to be tough for Salvation to come back.
Yeah, tough indeed. I mean, especially once you get to 11. And look at this buy from Salvation. I mean, this is basically a 12th round for Extra Life if Salvation can't find a way to handle this weaponry well. And this is a huge disadvantage for them. And potentially staring down failure in this first map, but it's not over until it's over.
Yeah, I don't know about the buy on, or the save on enemy team 11 rounds, Robbie. I feel like if you have 10, it's fine to do that, but, you know, in this position, 8 to 11, this could make or break their game, and this decision oftentimes breaks it.
Yeah, and I mean, so far, yeah.
So much map control for Extra Life, but they've given up the B site actually, and that Viper Spit coming down, but it's not gonna go onto the site.
Uh-oh.
This is a shocking blunder.
Yeah, I was gonna say so far they were handling it very well, playing around short with the Viper's wall, but the person that was actually lurking there with it late round actually got taken down, so all value lost out of that Thrash and Reckoning into this one. They're going to use the Reckoning. Leo looking for the spray transfer with the Stinger, not able to land it down. Sirius moving into this one. He saw him close, and they're even going to invest the Thrash into this.
Wow.
He takes him down.
That,
I mean, the disrespect.
I don't know about that round, Robbie. Feels like both teams really did not play that the way that they should. And 2 very important ults being used there from Extra Life. They have no ults on the board. They're going to try and farm the Showstopper probably towards Showers. But, you know, just so much overuse. And just feel like Law would have been better, you know, sitting in that cove while Harbor was defusing. Or even Wingman defused.
And you pointed out the stat line early as well. I mean, look at this thing. A Silver and Law are just popping off.
Yeah. I mean, they almost have twice the number of kills as the rest of their teammates combined times 2.
Yeah.
Or, sorry. And, you know, Sirius leading the charge through Showers here. Has to fall back to the nades. Zirconium gonna take a peek through, gonna get retraded by Law. And that is Showstopper down, so maybe it was a beneficial trade for Zirconium to peek that. 4v4 on match point. Just
What?
not an ideal position. At Law, how is he getting away with these peaks?
Wow.
Okay. He had to be put to a stop after that monstrosity of a peak. Oh my god, look at Silver. He's gonna fall. Wow, and Vector,
Wait.
big pick. Back towards A.
They're not going B off that lurk. Oh, wow. You're still running into them. I mean, it gives Dom and Sad a chance, but it's very unlikely. Thrash to come through does find Dom towards U-Haul. They're going to run right on through, but can Sad protect him? It's definitely possible here. Coming through, but back sight. Sad actually does defend him. And right now, that brings it down to an even 2v2. High Tide coming over towards short. Gonna have to be forced out of this one. Leo, don't do it. Don't do it. He does it. Gonna go in for it. There it is. I mean, it's a good decision there. And Sad taking down Vector. Or OK Vector, rather. Gonna go for the backside peek, and there it is. Sad to clutch things off to end our first map here. 13-8 in favor of Extra Life.
My ult's ready.
And a Law actually gonna take top rank. Very end of the game. You know, maybe in a bit of competition with Silver taking some frankly insane peaks and getting away with them, just out microing the opponent. Law and Silver, the new dynamic support duo of EXL. This is a completely new look of Extra Life that we just did not expect at all.
Yeah, I mean, that was crazy work. I mean, look at those numbers right there. That is crazy. The only two players topping 300 ACS there. And then the rest of the players right below that. MVP on the side of Silver. I mean, he's shown a masterclass on this Viper. You said it in the first half, too. He was just popping off, what, 3 or 4 Viper's pits in the first half? It was incredible.
He hit 3. He was like 4 towards his 4th. It was insane. A 9-point ult.
Yeah. It's just maximum value you can get out of that Viper on this map. I mean, absolutely exceptional. What more can you really ask for out of a Viper on this map? You know, Dom had a bit of a quieter game, but I think that he definitely helped things out. The Cove, really well placed on a lot of the retakes. I think that they played around it very well. I also think that the one round that Silver went back sight and got that 3K, I think that was actually a High Tide from Dom that cut through sight, and Silver was able to just walk through towards CT and go heaven. Yeah, so those little things, like we said, Harbor's really good at just getting you inserted into some interesting positions. So definitely a lot of value coming out of Dom from that Harbor pick. Nonetheless, looking at the stats there, and definitely a valiant effort by their opponents here.
Yes, and now Salvation. You see Wowdex and Leo top of the boards. We talked about Wowdex earlier, and he has done his job here. The 4 first bloods, most first bloods in the game, and Leo the 5 plants. It just sort of feels like they weren't, you know, they were playing very close together, but they weren't playing together. You know, they weren't peeking with each other. They were taking very isolated peaks. I think, you know, Vision, he's really going to harp on this in this little intermission that we're going to have, and you know, hopefully Salvation can make some changes going into their map pick.
Yeah, you are absolutely right. Well said, my friend. And speaking of intermissions, folks, we're going to throw it to a small intermission here, but we'll be back with map 2 on the other side. All right, folks, welcome back to Extra Life versus Salvation. Bind going in favor of Extra Life. EXL 13-8 and Silver coming out on top as our match MVP. Very well done work from him on the Viper. Exceptional work. Now, Storch, we're bringing things over to Haven, and obviously I'm starting to think, you know, what are these comps going to look like? Because looking at what we just had here on Bind, there were some pretty interesting ideas from Extra Life we just saw, and so I'm wondering, do you think they might pull out a Viper comp here on Haven, or do you think we might keep things a little bit standard here?
They could. I honestly might be expecting an ISO Yoru comp here. I think it's going to be very, very useful. I also think that for Salvation, I forget whether or not they played it against DSS on Haven, but just their playstyle, it just feels like Astra to me.
Yeah.
Feels like they would benefit so much from that Astra. They play very, rotate heavy, and if their Astra is going to be off, like, somewhere else on the map, she can just throw anything anywhere at any time at a moment's notice, and it's just so useful.
Yeah. Absolutely. And I think there's going to be some really cool things that we see from them. Now, on the flip side, from Salvation in this series, we did already get a very principled bind comp, something that we're very used to seeing, the Fade Gecko there, and so Haven, I do expect to see something pretty principled as well, Silver Breach comp. And yeah, I like what you said about Extra Life. Maybe that Yoru ISO comp, because just seeing what Sad did that game, I mean, obviously Silver and Law took all the kills, so Sad didn't get to do much, but at the end of the day, I think it'd be really cool to see that Yoru ISO, and maybe even Law being the one to play that ISO, because, I mean, Law's got it. I think he could play that role very well.
Yeah, I mean, Law last game, showing that he's him. Over peaking at almost any given chance and just melting the HP bars of the enemy team.
Yeah.
Very well played.
Absolutely.
I think here one of the most important factors to win this match, if you are EXL, is how you're hitting these sites. As I mentioned before that bind game, EXL really like to play for heavy site hits, and we saw that last game. On a map like Haven, it can work, but it's a lot more of a slow map and drawing rotates. We did also see Salvation rotating very heavily off of, light pressure.
Mm-hmm.
And so if EXL are able to pick that out, might be able to, they might be able to capitalize on that. And as Astra coming out from Dom here, EXL.
I love it.
So good. And a Vice Hover from Zirconium?
Please
did
no.
play, I think, the Deadlock on Ascent once or twice. But
Please no.
Long Reach. I don't know about Vice on this map, Robbie. Yeah, I think you're right about that one. It's it's an obscure pick for a reason. We'll say that.
Yeah.
It's like who was it? It was EG who the other day played Vice on Split with Ye, and I just didn't look good. I think Vice is, I like how she looks on Ascent, on Sunset, and like maybe on Bind, but I don't know if she really has a place in the meta outside of those maps.
Yeah. And just as expected, looks like we are going to get that principled comp from Salvation. EXL. Now, Sad hasn't clicked on anything yet, but I see a breach, so I definitely expect to see. I expect to see the Silva. I don't think they're going to do a solo breach. Oh, no shot. No shot.
What?
It's like they heard.
Comp, Robbie.
It's like they heard me say it and purposely picked the Yoru, man. I felt it, dude. I was like, I don't see the pick coming out from Sad yet. And the Yoru just comes through. Solo breach on Haven. Absolutely not. I'm sorry. I'm just not feeling it.
I mean, it's not really solo breach because you have the Yoru, but it is solo breach in the sense you have no intel to go off of for your stuns.
Yeah.
Like, it's just weird, man. Yeah, I agree. The solo breach is just, it feels weird. Maybe in my comp games, but outside of that, no.
I will say though, obviously in all seriousness, so with this comp, you're forced to take a lot of space, right? You don't get a lot of info out of this comp forward, so obviously you're going to throw some really aggressive spy cams probably from Silver, and you're probably just going to go from some short control. They're starting on defense, so obviously you can play that standard breach jet, towards the short contact, but on attack is where things are going to be a lot difficult for them, especially on this 3 bomb site map with many different lanes to approach as well. B, there's so many different ways to approach it, through garage, and C, it's between B and C, there's a lot of different ways you can approach that. I mean, A is kind of its own world with short and long over there, and so it's a little bit more one-dimensional in that way, but still nonetheless, Haven, especially being a 3 bomb site map, is one of those maps that you want to play for those push and pull rotations, and that is so hard without getting information on where players are playing. So I'm excited to see how that pans out on attack. They're going to need to get some rounds here on defense though.
Yeah, and for EXL, I do understand why they picked the Astra here. I think they have enough blinds for, you know, what's necessary. And, you know, the stars, the Nova Pulse, it's going to be very useful.
Yeah.
And, as we are getting started here, we are going to see a bit of an A play here.
Realize that my minimap is gone. Wonder what happened there.
Yes. I believe if you press apostrophe, it should reappear. Yeah, unless that is...
There we go.
Okay, there we go.
That was weird. We're back online here, folks. Now, here we are, as you said, A play here. Now, Aether towards the short space. Stun. Out, ready to go, and there's that contact, and well done. Textbook, Aether, getting the first blood of the round, and that's exactly what you want to see if you are Extra Life here. Now, Wild Dex over towards long, second point of contact here. Smoke still online for Salvation, luckily, but the Cypher duel towards mid. Silver was in such an aggressive position there, Storch.
Yeah, no, it's unfortunate that he was only able to find one, but that lurk falling is so nice for EXL. 5v3, and now all they have to do is not overpeak. Aether looking to do just that, though, and he gets picked off by Wowdex. You know, that 5v3 can become a 3v3 really quick. Silver has to be careful here, as two members of Salvation contacting up into Garage. They're looking to maybe try and go back, re-hit A, but look at how ready EXL are for this.
30 seconds left.
And I like this from them too. Reading into the rotation. And it's good because they have that passive info as well from the Cypher. That Cam's getting absolutely nothing towards C. And those trips are online, Garage and B. I mean, Cypher's holding the whole left half of the map. Here it is, moving right onto the site. Paranoid to come right on through. Dark cover towards Heaven. Doesn't have one for CT, but Wildex looking to hold things back for just a second. Fault line to come through into it, but Wildex gets a better angle there. Drops down from Heaven. And the push is really good from them. Gonna have to find the shots. Is serious. Does get the first, looking for the second, but the trade from Silver comes right on through. 3 on the round for him, and a pistol recovered for Extra Life.
Yeah, and Silver already with 3. Honestly, the Cypher, I understand it's, you know, the best Sentinel on this map for sure. But when you have a player like Silver on your team, do you ever think that you maybe consider a KJ? If you can farm that lockdown 3 times at a half, then, you know, honestly, it's probably worth over the Cypher.
Yeah, I definitely think KJ's good on this map. She's good at, especially on attack, locking down that mid space with the turret. You have the alarm bot for one of the extremities. I think it's a bit dated though. I think that especially against like this, people are running that very dive heavy style right now with the Jet Breach, and then you've also got some neon comps on this map. So I feel like KJ doesn't really lend herself well to that kind of comp. Cypher really has that stopping power with those tripwires.
And Wowdex posted up long. But Zirconium looking to come towards B here, gonna peek a little bit earlier from his team. And Wowdex pulled up and finds a dink.
As we said it. Yeah. Oh!
Oh my god!
Nuh-uh!
Spike down, B.
Silver? Yeah. Zirconium can't even do anything. Yeah, check him PC. It's exactly Storch. And it's crazy too, because as soon as we said something about Cypher too, Jet just dashes right into it and gets killed by people on both sides of Link. Oh.
Yeah, and you need to see the Sova Shocks breaking the trips. Vector has to pick up on that and adjust. No kill trips on C, which, no, isn't really the ranked mindset, but it's definitely the competitive play mindset. And I just don't think that Salvation were ready for it.
Yep.
Now, looking for a fast Garage approach. Silver already in serious, might walk into one of these trips. Spam coming through, gonna take him down low. Silver's still full HP. Stuns, flashes, everything coming through on Sad, onto default. Everyone's pushing on him. Just gonna spam.
Yep. Spam comes through. Lions, Tigers, and Bears. Oh my. Gonna go down on the site there. Wildex even finding Silver. And right now, only 3 left standing for Extra Life. They haven't found any damage yet either into this round. I mean, Omen took down the shields, but it's about it so far. So they're going to have to find some value coming into this. Don't give those alt orbs up to Salvation, because they've gotten a lot of kills here. Right now, coming right into this, Flashpoint comes through back sight, looking for the stun. Dom, Bulldog in hand, but they don't check it. He's in the corner, and that's it. Only 1 body dropping for Salvation, keeping 4 on the board.
Yeah, Salvation, they're going to be pretty happy with that round. Silver, though, 7-1. Didn't find any that round, but wow, he is popping off this series. That is insane to me.
Yeah.
And Salvation, they seem to have a feel for how they want to play this map. I really like how it's looked so far. But EXL, they just have to pick up on the fact that they can't just play on the site in this dive comp.
Here.
Mm-hmm. Ooh, Aether. For the flush blood there. Double peek comes through. Smart. Concede right out of there.
Unlock gonna get posted up short here with a Bucky. This could be treacherous.
Mm-hmm.
Now, Salvation looking to scale up towards mid. Dom is gonna leave B. This timing might be really unfortunate for EXL, but looks like it's not gonna happen. And Vector sitting on that trip. Looks like they're gonna go for C here, Robbie. Oh,
Coming right through that garage space. Looks like OK Vector actually got disconnected there, but the round's still underway. Sad playing towards that back side. There it is. Flash comes right on through, and he's got it by himself. And even Zirconium landing 2 off over there towards A. He is by his lonesome. Gonna have to get the job done. 1v3 right now. Is OK Vector definitely after this round gonna get a tech pause in place, but here we are. Zirconium gonna get into this one, but only 12 seconds left. Storch, I don't think he's got it. He's gonna have to save the weapon.
10 seconds left.
yeah, and EXL, they were just able to find a lot of free picks, and obviously the unfortunate disconnect from Vector just really gonna hurt that Salvation side, and maybe even their mentals starting to, feel a bit hurt here.
Yeah. And I mean, they're down in the series right now, and it's down 3-1. And I mean, I'm looking at the leaderboard here, looking at the economy. They definitely can get some rifles on the board here. And OK Vector also got in here. And now, when I look at this is a round that Salvation are going to have to convert. Given everything they've been under so far this series, they're going to have to convert this round if they want to keep a standing chance to stay in the tournament here. Because again, just like the matchup we saw earlier between Times and Corner Campers, this right here is to decide either you're kicked out of the tournament or you qualify into the playoffs. So definitely a lot on the line here. Salvation going to have to find that resilience.
Yeah, the Swiss a lot less forgiving than the format we had in the first season of VLE. And, that lack of an LCQ, these teams really have to want it to get into playoffs here. And every team that's going to make it is going to deserve it.
Now looking at this buy, it looks like Salvation do get the rifles in hand, full armor for everybody. Wildex is 1 off that Blade Storm, so it looks like they're going to go ahead and go for that Sea Orb here.
And there's not really much that Salvation have done wrong up to this point. It's really just been the finesse of EXL, just able to find those picks, like even in situations where they're grouped. It's really, really nice micro coming out from them. And as always, Silver is so exciting to watch.
Yeah, he's been a demon in this series. I want to highlight one of the words you said there, and it's finesse. I mean, that's really important when it comes to micro. Because, I mean, whoever has the better micro, I mean, ultimately just they win the game. Because it comes down to that micro. You have to hit the shots. You have to set up those advantageous gunfights. I think that they're doing a really good job of that so far on the side of Extra Life. Even playing off their utility well. I like this from Silver. Kind of masking the dart there, playing into this corner, and the cage is all the way back there. This is where that tech comes into play. We talked about that micro, but Silver a bit caught out in the corner there, and Sirius, he has done the work this round so far, taking down 2 of his own. Trades off what the Cypher was able to do on the defensive side, but right now, Salvation on their front foot this round. Extra Life still looking to make a response.
And Ether coming for this flank. Vector is prepared for it. Ether, he has to clear this angle. But also the retake starting to come through. The double up high-low logs might catch him off guard. Wowdeck's able to find 2, dodges the flash. Now Ether in a 1v2. Serious, gonna miss the paranoia, but he's able to find the pick onto Ether through the wall while full running.
Yeah, what did I just watch right there?
A little bit of a Valorant moment there.
Yeah. Tactical gunplay indeed. Oh my goodness, but
CS player might have to say about that one.
for real. But no, nonetheless, Salvation definitely got what they were looking for coming into that round. They needed that there. Because, I mean, it was looking really grim if they weren't getting that one.
Yeah, and so there, we kind of missed it. But on that retake, with Dom and Law just trying to come out with that breach flash, Wowdex actually dodged it and was able to find both. That's not something that we typically see in this space.
Yeah.
Either 2 off of the Blade Storm. Might want to try and go for his orb here. Doesn't look like he's going to be able to. And he's going to spot out the TP Heaven.
Oh,
but Sirius
Cover going out.
seems like he might go unchecked. I don't think they know for sure.
There it is.
And there's the pick. You don't likely need to have a better protocol for that, though. Maybe,
Yeah.
No. Some HRTF. Dom.
He's kind of full running.
Yeah. Okay, Law prepared for this stun here towards Graffiti. And Sad's going to try and capitalize off of it. But to no avail. Gets spotted out, Paranoia coming through. Law in Heaven. Gonna use Aftershock on default. Yeah. Picks going all around, and Leo gets 3 on that retake. Big round from him. And Salvation bring it back 3-3.
Yeah, that was nice. Flawless retake there from Salvation. I mean, they found the response, too, coming out of that little tech pause that we had. And we were talking about how it's very, very easy, the potential that Extra Life could have easily started to slip away with the scoreline here, just off that 3-1 alone and the momentum that they were feeling. But, I mean, Salvation obviously not bowing down there. So, really good responses they have here. Now, we're going into more rifle rounds, and the economy has completely flipped, honestly, Storch. It looks really good on Salvation's side.
Yeah, and it's crazy to think that this is caused by just 2 rounds here.
Oh,
Zirconium early pick onto Silver. That is quite possibly the biggest pick you could ever get for an opening blood.
yeah. Because that Cypher's been holding down so much space, too, but just out in the open there.
Ether just gonna get picked out off his push A. Played a little too impatient. And Law gonna try and prevent the retake. Realizes try and prevent the site take. He doesn't really have anything for this, but serious.
Spike planted.
Unable to get the kill. Aftershock not gonna land onto Leo. And now, Rolling Thunder ready for Salvation should they play offsite. And Wowdex once more.
Yeah. Once more, indeed. You saw that Aftershock come out towards spawn, trying to get ahead of the retake there, but nonetheless, still going to be a little bit patient to the approach here for Extra Life this time. Sad tip of the spear coming through CT, trying to bait out the extra flashes, but the setup is way too strong for Salvation, jumping out of Heaven there, and that's all they're looking for. The desperation calls for Extra Life there, going into that retake, and Salvation completely sweeping the floor.
Yeah, and I was just about to say it, Robbie. I was just about to say if I'm EXL,
Yep.
I'm starting to think about timeout territory, and here it is. Crusty old Brad yet again with a well-timed timeout.
And I mean, this, I think you said it last map, but I loved the analogy, and I was feeling real goofy today. I mean, he's going to have to find some freshly baked loaves right here, man. He's going to have to find it.
No, what do you think that can be for EXL? What responses can they have? Is it just playing safer, or is there something else?
Honestly, I think it's the post plants mostly. I mean, a lot of the rounds are coming down to that. I mean, there's definitely mid-round fights where there's a bit of aggression coming there, but that's super duper fixable, and that's obviously something he can probably figure out within the first 5 seconds of this timeout. Is just let them know, hey, play a little bit safer. You guys are going for ones in weird spots, but what I'm looking for is for them to go for more convincing fights, right? I talked about it on this defense. You have this Yoru Breach Jet. You got to do something with it. You got to get some space going, and one of the biggest things that I think that they need to do is also organize these retakes a little bit better. They look completely frazzled coming into the retakes, and I think that the layers are not quite there. They, especially going towards A, they need to bait out that stun a little bit earlier so that they can get onto the site, because they keep running into a stun and a paranoia, and it seems like they haven't correctly diagnosed why that is yet, and they haven't baited it out.
Yeah, and now EXL gonna be on this eco, and we're getting immediately right. The action here with the Pecan C, and Ether gonna hit a dink onto Leo. That's gonna be really big damage on the save.
Mm-hmm. Wow. Oh. Yes, there it is. That's what you want if you are Ether in this position here, and that's a rifle recovered for him too. I know Sad goes down. He was anchoring with him, but another fight by Law there with the stinger towards mid. And I mean, Salvation find themselves on their back foot all of a sudden here.
Yeah, how could it be going so right from them? And then against an eco, it just starts going so wrong so fast. Dark gonna come through, gonna spot out Ether. A little bit of a slow reaction on that one. They do have the bomb on the site. And there's not much they can do. Honestly, I think they should consider a save. One full HP, one HP. It's just not much to do. Oh, and Leo gonna find that pick though. See how much more he can get. Looking to go into the smoke. Flashes out. Not gonna be able to find one. Still 5 HP. He's questioning whether or not he can just save the rifle. He's gonna pop through. And Silver gonna find him from garage.
Yep. Yeah, that was pretty awkward there, but I'm not gonna lie, I understand why they went for it. I mean, look at their economy. They're like basically maxed out right now, so trying to do all the damage that they can to keep the economy on the side of Extra Life as low as possible. So I understand the attempt there, but didn't look very decisive. Nonetheless, coming right into this one, rifle still in hand, looking healthy for the next rounds. And so the pace change I'm looking for here from Salvation after that is, how do we now play around the aggression that they're going to utilize out of this Yoru Breach combo? And that's something you really got to get around.
I mean, we see Silver 11 and 4, and he still has not used his neural theft, right? They need to find that early pick. They need to help Silver get to that body and get that ult down. You know, they've missed out on 2, almost 3 ults now.
Uh-oh.
Shock's coming through, contacting up towards A. Silver, he's ready for this. And they've spotted the trip in short, debating what to do.
Ooh. He's gonna shoot it and run right up here. I love this cage too. Wow. Looking for it. Little gap created there as well. Makes it so awkward for them, but Silver a little bit overcommitted. And even coming out of spawn is Aether. And just like that, bodies start to drop for the side of Extra Life. We start wondering, how do we approach these retakes? It's always A. They really end up on their back foot here every single time. And Dom, I know the economy's good, but it starts to dwindle here. And once again, you get one of those economy flips in the game if you don't secure rounds like this. And there it is. Even Sad going down to that late lurk. You don't have those Cypher trips towards B anymore. Gotta watch out for that. And Dom down towards Heaven. And honestly, so far, I haven't seen Extra Life have a convincing approach to an A retake yet. And I think that Salvation have caught on to that. They might start utilizing A a lot more.
Yeah, and Silver, he put himself in a great position there. He just needs that help from Dom earlier. Like, the benefit of having an Astra on your team is that you have global util, you have the suck, you have the stun, you have the smoke. There is no reason that all he should be playing with is 2 cages. He needs to have that reactivity from his Astra.
Yep.
Now, looking towards a potential garage C split here. They spot out the Marshall, but they're going to decide still want to push the site. Ether.
Oh my
god, he's a deagle.
Yeah, that's the second time now from that same position.
Paranoia through garage on the C. They have the C site. But look, Assyria's still in garage. Gonna try and creep up behind him. Caught up by Law. Law gonna be able to find the pick. Big pick, and that's rifles down. 2v2 now. Even health for both teams.
Enemy remaining.
And Silver's gonna fall to back there.
Revealing area.
Law looking for a place to flash. Can't quite find one. Vector gonna try and flank him, and Zirconium gonna miss his timing. Law has to go for it now. He had to try and go for the half off that cage.
Yeah.
It's just not able to find another pick. Still, you know, not a horrible round from EXL. Their eco did go quite well. They have that Rolling Thunder online now. And, you know, maybe that's what it's going to take for them to be able to retake A, Robbie.
Yeah, I mean, Rolling Thunder is such a good tool for that. I mean, there's a counter Rolling Thunder as well. There's also a Hunter's Fury on the opposing side, so even though you look at the ultimate economy for the side of Extra Life here, you might think they have an advantage, but it's going to be so hard because I would expect that Salvation are wise to that and might play reactive towards it.
And early contact towards mid. They're going to think that there's heavy pressure, but it's just Zirconium on his lurk. And now they're contacted all the way up towards A for a long, short split. Now, Silver, he is set up there. Drone gonna come through.
Kill trip action. Uh-oh.
They found my wire.
I got
Never
spot
mind.
out.
Zirconium. I mean, he's found a really good timing on the lurk this time. I mean, but Aether's gonna have to find it. Does not. There's the Rolling Thunder to come through, and there's that counter Rolling Thunder, just like I said. Reactive from Salvation. I mean, it's so textbook from them. Not conceding a single point of micro in this game right now. And Zirconium over here towards the B site, just causing such a wrench here. It's so difficult. There's just no way into this A site almost ever for Extra Life. Salvation, masterclass right now. And Sad left on 16 HP and no more answers. That's a 7th win for Salvation there, and what a response right now in this series.
Last round before the switch.
Now, it's not all over for EXL here. Even if they were to lose this round, this is a slightly more attack-sided comp from them, and also an attack-sided map. But if they're playing the way that they're playing this defense half, it's going to be really hard for them to win this. I mean, we just see so many mistakes coming out, and what can they even do to fix them if they are going to use their next timeout really early? Which they're going to have to if they go down 8-4.
And that's when the frustration starts to settle in as well. Extra Life going to have to regroup coming into this a little bit. Definitely show us what they gave on map 1. Nonetheless, Salvation looking so good right now. And this is what we saw from them in their first series against this team too.
Portal closed.
Yeah, and we see this C split coming through. Vector only has 1 shot left. But it's coming through, and Silver. What a shot. Cancel coming through. Wowdak's gonna get picked off. And now they can't really hit C. Leo in the open. He's gonna look for more. He has the bomb though. And
What in the world? All right,
Flexing
that
hard,
was
huh, dude?
ambitious. Wow.
Wow. That was seriously crazy.
Yeah.
30
2v5
seconds
here. Zirconium. Looking to getting
Gotta just-
opening into this one.
Player
Ooh.
standing.
Oh,
What?
what? All right. And he's got the neural theft as well. I mean, just running, gunning all game here. Looking
Cypher
for it,
diff.
Silver. Yep. There's a Cypher diff, yep. 7-5 for Salvation. I mean, Extra Life found the response at the end there. Now,
Sides.
this is where I said that this comp might have difficulty on this attack side. So, with them down the rounds, there's a lot of questions to be answered here for Extra Life.
Yeah, they have to find a way to get Ether more active. I am very surprised that they did not try to use any form of aggression that half. And they need to look for more.
See how this A hit goes here. Okay, Vector ready with the dart here. Looks like they want to fight into this one too, getting ahead of it. You see him running into the barrier here. Just going to get ahead of it. Getting into that left side. Right now, you have a bit of attention here towards A from Salvation, but look at how deep and passive this play is right now from Extra Life. Definitely not a style I expected out of this comp on pistol round, but serious. Already deeply inserted into this space. Now, this is something that's going to be really hard to clear if you're Extra Life and you don't expend more than one body towards it, or maybe even a spy cam towards mid-box, but they're also deep towards this main as well. There it is. 2 over towards short. They're coming out onto the site. Dash already expended. Down to 10 HP, not able to do the damage. And Wildex's taking him down. And they have nothing to clear these close corners. And right now, going to have to stay behind the dark cover. Okay, Vector on the flank here. Astral Star gonna force him out of position here, but Silver, a little bit aggressive approach here on this take, and this is the kind of information you need to be deciphering and siphoning through with this kind of comp. Sad, looking for more engagements here towards A, but the regroup towards B is where it's coming. Zirconium might be able to do the damage, but gets taken down, and that leaves EXL with the man advantage here.
Spike planted.
Yeah, and Silver just able to, you know, play that really well. He's able to find the pick, you know, gives his team an advantage. They have the B site bomb down. Around 25 seconds and long right click. Ooh, Vector just a blammo. Shoots it right into his head. Now 3v2. Suck's gonna draw them off bomb. They still have the stun. And Vector finds a huge pick onto Silver here.
One enemy remaining.
They're off bomb, they don't have to peek this.
Concentrate,
Vector,
Sova.
low on time, gonna get double peeked and picked out. And yeah,
I mean-
I really like how Silver played that round.
Yeah. Asher's just ridiculously OP in post-plant.
Yeah.
It just, you have a one-way on site, you've got to suck for the first tap, you've got to stun for the second tap. I mean, it's just layers of stall you're able to get on her alone. And they played it very well there. So first pistol round going to Extra Life.
I was gonna say about Silver is that he played that, you know, it kind of reminded me about like Overwatch and how a Tracer plays. Just making a lot of noise in their backline, getting them to turn around, drawing that aggro, and then, you know, finding an opening pick and just being safe.
I love that analogy.
Yeah, doing a really good job of playing aggressive on Cypher, and it's beautiful to watch. Vector's so far up here though, might catch out Silver. Silver 1 HP. Not quite able to catch him out. It is only the ghost, but Dom is there to help him.
It's crazy too because Salvation are being more aggressive than Extra Life were being with the comp on defense. It's just full
Yeah.
mid control here. Look at Leo too, he's still here. I mean, at some point you've overstayed your welcome. Does take down Silver Law with trade on the Bulldog. Only 2 left standing for Salvation. Regrouping over towards A. I mean, they've given up a lot of guns and a lot of bodies going into this, but I mean, right now, Dom taking all the space over towards A does open up the door for his team to come here.
I mean, at this point, Law is on for the ace.
Knocking them.
Oh,
One enemy remaining.
But Dom, gonna take the last two?
I end the trouble.
well, jerk.
Yeah. I mean, two off of that Rolling
Gun
Thunder.
here.
I do feel like Dom maybe should have played a little bit more passive and tried to let Law get that online.
Going to
Because, you know,
Astro to do them
if they get that
Astro
Rolling Thunder, they can
battles.
just hit B so fast on their eco and it just destroy Salvation.
Yeah.
Salvation, they're opting to play this a little untraditionally. You know, the Jet and Sova towards C. This is like a bit of a flipped map. Don't know how I feel about it. Leo gonna look for a pick towards window. And not really anything early happening, but Silver gonna come up grass.
Yeah. And it's interesting too, they expand that dark cover over towards window, maybe trying to synthesize some sort of mid take. So they're trying to uninvite Extra Life from taking this space with that maybe. It's not quite working because Silver, he's already up towards garage. Looks like he wants to move towards his B space, but look at where Zirconium is on the flip side. There it is. Takes one down, but the tripwire is over here towards short, but he doesn't know. That's it. That's all she wrote. A site is now in the hands of Extra Life, 4v4.
And Rolling Thunder
even-
online.
Silver. Yep. It's every single time. Just Tracer. Just on my back. Yeah.
Yeah, no, for sure. And Leo gonna ignore the flank. Kind of like Tracer just recalled there, but you know, recall is not an ability we have in Valorant. Ether able to find one for WoW Duck, but they're all in sight. Sad has to play this a
Last
little
player
bit safer.
standing.
Silver onto the flank. Oh, and Vector falling from the skies, gonna pick off Silver. And I think
My ult's ready.
if you're on Extra Life, you're gonna be really happy with the outcome of that round. And Vector, getting DC again, have had a few problems with his, you know, his tech this series, but has it maybe been affecting his gameplay? Because we have also seen him DC quite a bit in that DSS series, Robbie. And I
Yeah.
don't think he was in the XL series. Do you think maybe he had to like downgrade hardware or something? Do you think that's affecting his gameplay?
Yeah, it's got to be frustrating for sure. I mean, tech issues, and sometimes it's something you can't even control too, right? So it kind of plays a role into how you're feeling mentally in your series. And obviously that's something you got to get past, right? If it's things that you don't have control over, have to find a way to get past it. Because, I mean, I'm looking at the way he's playing this game so far. I think even since the first series, even in the second series, we haven't really seen OK Vector the same since we've saw him that first time around. And so it seems like still trying to wrap his head around all the tech issues he has during the games. But nonetheless, I mean, IGLing and also, you know, having the standard put forth on you, because he set the bar really high for himself, right? So that does nothing but create higher expectations. And so he's feeling that pressure all the time in these series. So at least these tech timeouts give him a little bit of time to just recollect his thoughts. But nonetheless, swinging back into the action here. Looks like he got back into the server, actually. Now, I want to talk a bit more about this half here. Now, we're only on round 4 of the second half. And obviously, first 2 rounds going to Extra Life. Now, Salvation, they were on their back foot for just a second there going into this half. And so I'm looking for them to keep the pace up here. They want to keep this lead. They have to stay in this series. And this is the map that they have to make happen to do it. And with that being said, it's OK Vector I'm really looking to make that difference in terms of his leadership.
Yeah, for sure. They need to take more aggression, and this Jet on C without that op, it's just really not going to work for them. Odex going to get his Blade Storm up. A very heavy presence towards mid here from EXL, Ether, all the way up already. Leo, he's going to try and prepare for this, but he doesn't have his stun. He has 2 flashes. Ether going to get tagged out. Rolling Thunder going to come out here. Everybody's in before the Aftershock going to get anything. Another fast flood.
Spike planted.
I know exactly.
Yeah, and I mean, it's so far the flood not really going the way of Salvation. Extra Life, a really good answer here. And this is what I talked about. Rounds like this, don't want them to slip away from you. And they've done exactly that thus far, almost going down to the Aftershock, but instead the gun of Sad, a flawless from Extra Life to respond into this one. And they're looking to keep clinching that lead.
Yeah, and Vision gonna use his team's last time out here. I don't know, I do feel it's slipping a little bit, but maybe this is a little premature. Because I do believe... Actually, I can't remember. Robbie, did Vision use their first time out in that first half?
I think he did, yeah.
Yeah, I don't know about this one then. I don't know. They definitely have a lot to work on, and so I understand that, you know, he has to call it to say, you know, you need to push. You need to get the Breach and Jet active together. Or more so, having the Breach play for the Jet and have maybe Sova play with Jet or Omen play with Jet. I don't know. It just feels like they've got all the right, you know, sort of pro play comps. They don't quite have the right execution of it.
Yeah. I actually like that you point that out too. It's one thing to be able to play a comp and fulfill the agents on it. It's another thing to understand the synergies of those abilities, right? And I think that that's one thing in that layer that we might be missing from this here. And I want to see them get active here and work to the strengths of this comp. But on the flip side, I think it's safe to say the same about Extra Life as well. There's a lot of moments of frustration where they're just not taking space with the comp that you would think. So maybe both teams at the same disadvantage, but at the same time, if one of these teams just lock down that part, right, the synergy in the comps, they'll easily have an upper hand over the other, because that's what both of them are missing right now. I would assume as well, a lot of frustration in the Salvation comps. And you don't want to start off that way either. Coming right out of the timeout. First blood comes right on through, very awkward position, and that's the smokes too. They had him in such a position of danger in garage. So you start to beg into question, but here it is. Okay, Vector trying to be the hero of the round. Hunter's Fury does come through for the C plant, but finds nothing. And only 3 of them stand, and that is a very important ultimate taken out of the equation too on this eco round.
Yeah, I don't know about that one, Robbie.
Yeah.
5v3, you're on an eco. You don't have to ult there.
I think it was a bit much, yeah.
And Zirconium trying to find maybe a cage for long. Not quite able to. They're going to have this retake coming through. Sad. Going to get spotted out as his portal closes. Wow, such unlucky timing. You talk about Valorant timing, but Yoru closed TP. That's so unfortunate. And this retake may be looking feasible, but Ether's going to get a pick. Law flashes again.
One enemy remaining.
And yeah, there's the round.
There you are, you
Yep.
shit.
Overall,
It's so well played.
Maybe if they had saved the Hunter's Fury for once they had site control, maybe you can ult for long and diffuse off of that.
Yeah.
That would have been a better use of it if you wanted to use it that round. But in that 5v3, I don't think you ever use it even on a rifle round.
Yep. I totally agree with you there. I also want to point out a little small detail that Extra Life had in their plant that I really liked. They plant wide left side towards back plat because they know that Salvation are on that eco round. So not only does the planter get forced out super wide in the open, but everyone else that's supporting that diffuser, right, going for the gunfights is forced out in the open too. So just those small details really play to your advantage and understanding them about how the map works here. So Extra Life looking really good right now, and I mean, this is where you start to ask questions. Salvation down in the series and down currently in this map could easily get knocked out here, but that first fight not going the way of Extra Life.
And very interesting cam from Zirconium here. I don't think I've ever seen that one. Clearly neither is Silver, but Ether gonna fall. Law gonna find a refrag. Flashes through. They're gonna try and get control of the C site, but I don't think he can do it alone here. Vector, he's ready. Getting a peek from long. Now, numbers even again.
Spike
But Wardex
down, C.
gonna find the refrag. And he's all alone on C site. Zirconium on a late
Last
rotate.
player standing.
Dom not clearing the right angles, he's clearing Silver.
One enemy remaining.
Ultimate. Where is
There's one.
Oh, wait a minute.
Silver.
30 seconds
Moral
left.
theft. Looking for the clutch here. It'd be huge if he does. Silver looking to further gain the grasp into this game, but Salvation living another round, taking down Silver in that clutch there. And honestly, Wildex went huge there. Really job well done by him on that C site, and it was very important They almost had control of that space, and he completely shut it down before they were able to get into CT.
Yeah, he was really struggling to get into this game before this half started. And now, you know, that 4K, so big for his team. It's exactly what they needed. But they are forced back on another save.
Who's next?
Seriously, opting to hero judge. Sad can ult through C. No. Salvation not really deciding to respect this.
Time to jump.
And
I'm back.
ooh, Sad getting a little bit overzealous, overpeaking and dying. Silver unaware of this flank up A. Oh my god, Vector.
Love the shock. Goes for that chip damage, and it's done well. It's 53 HP for him. A lot of pressure put onto him, but right now, grouping up to this is Salvation. Can't play into that cubby, have that aftershock available. Taps come down onto the spike, and this is where the Astro Util's got to take him down. Takes him off the spike momentarily. Looking for the kills right through the dark cover. He's still on it. Diffuse is coming right on through. It is halved. Goes right back onto the spike, looking for it, and they do it. And a complete cleanup onto the site there. Wildex left by his lonesome, cannot do the damage. And EXL are one step closer to securing that playoff spot.
Yeah, and Robbie, what went wrong there for Wildex? He was so late from Garage. He was coming out of Garage as his teammates had just all died. And they are going to have a bye here, but Sirius, you know, he has to try and force up something. It's going to be a stinger.
The narrative starts to paint itself a whole lot clearer. If you are Salvation here, everything on the line right now in these rounds, every single round matters. Sova drone coming right through towards a lobby. Okay, Vector clearing things out, but once again, Silver finding himself in such a deep mid position early. Zirconium going for a fight there, gonna back off. Smart, conceding the space a little bit, allowing for the reactionary rotations to give him that support, and they regroup over towards A. I love this call from EXL.
Yeah, and they have the Rolling Thunder ready for the site hit. Leo gonna play for close. Now, I think it's no doubt he is going to be caught out by this ult, but will they clear the corner?
Off your feet!
Uh-oh, there it is. Does land onto him, but the counter paranoia comes through. They're not clearing it. They do. There it is. Wow. That was almost a travesty.
And Ether, the savior of the team, gonna get picked off by Sirius over peeking. And a 2v3. Law does have his concuss. We do have World Divide as well.
Last player
He's gonna get
standing.
crashed on though, and it's all up to Dom.
Pulling them in!
Finds one.
Ooh.
That's a nice
Little
try from Dom,
overcommitted to
but-
the second. Yeah.
Yeah, not quite. And Robbie, I do expect to see an Astral Divide for a C hit here.
Yeah, this is a good round to do that.
Now, Rolling Thunder up for Salvation, and they're getting close to that Hunter's Fury again. Their ult usage hasn't been great up to this point in this game, but this could be time for it to change. And yet again,
Let's go.
for EXL, Silver and Law just playing crazy. Ether gonna try and contact up short. EXL, they're looking for this hit. Can he find any Vector? Gonna have to play close graffiti. Maybe gonna go for a pick here, but it's against Silver and Ether, and gets deleted from the video game.
Yeah.
Silver though, 30 HP.
He dinked him through the jet, by the way. That was insane.
Yeah.
Oh, wait a minute. Rolling Thunder to come through, but it's not enough. Everyone getting completely cleaned out of the choke point, and they just can't get into it. And the A site is just not open for entry.
Yeah, and look
Extra
at that
Life
money.
completely claiming it. Yep.
They're gonna have to try and force here. You know, they can't afford to get the series point. They have a few rifle lights, but no, they're gonna go for this save. And it's looking like all the pieces of the puzzle, the jigsaws are falling into place for EXL. Sirius seems to have PTC'd, but no. The peek with his knife out, and he's full stun only with a shorty. Ether getting a nice pick. He's out with the shorty from behind. Oh, and the flick from Dom.
No way.
Spike planted.
I thought he was dead to rights there. Okay, Vector once again in such a precarious position to use this Hunter's Fury, and it just doesn't land. Well, there it is. I mean, takes down Ether some HP, but what else can you really find into this? Zirconium on the flank with the Sheriff looking for the first shot. A bit labored, gonna have to go for the reload. Forced off the angle of the cage to help him a little bit into this. While his teammate Leo goes down towards the site, does take one down. So far he's played around this very well, looking for the second, but he can't land the shots. And OK Vector left alone in the 1v4, looking to keep this team in the tournament right now. And as the spike continues to up tempo here, Extra Life finding themselves at map point and one step away from securing the playoff spot and knocking Salvation out.
Yeah, and here it is, Robbie.
Match point.
On Haven. With a nice amount of wins on this half for EXL. Crusty Old Bread is going to call a timeout. Robbie, this could be a tactical blunder. This gives Vision time to form a whole pre-round for this round.
Yeah.
And wow.
I would not have called this timeout.
Wow. And, you know, surely Crusty Old Bread is giving us some time here, Robbie, to set the scene here in the second match. EXL, they're up 1-0 on the series. Now, series point, Salvation beat them 2-0 the first time. And now, if they were to lose this round, they will be knocked out of the tournament by the team that they clean swept.
Yep. I mean, what could this timeout possibly be for? You want white, wheat, rye, pumpernickel? What's this timeout for? I mean, right now, Extra Life have completely felt really good coming into this. I mean, they have momentum right now, so I feel like this is just a bit of a momentum stopper. Give Salvation, like you said, a time to come up with a solution, because right now, this half, only 3 rounds were converted by Salvation.
Yeah.
But the other 7 were taken from Extra Life.
The only, like, feasible plan I can think of for this timeout being useful is if they were to just full hit B, because it would be unexpected. But
Yep.
no, and Wowdex and Leo, they're going to do something they haven't done all game and pair up. They have this initiator. And the thing coming through the ether.
Yep.
They're going to play the bait and switch, and Law going to find the pick. Now, Wowdex isolated. Salvation down numbers in the round that they need so much. And they've lost that breach. That breach is vital for those retakes. It's going to be really hard for them to win this. And now drone coming out from Vector. What retake util do Salvation have left? Drone's coming out. They get broken. Zirconium looking for span. Vector gets picked out with his bow out, but not going to be able to find a pick. Now, Salvation clawing back the numbers a little bit. Floating on the C site though.
One enemy remaining.
Ooh, wow.
Wow.
That was a fast round at the end there. I mean, okay, Vector, yeah, that was insane from him.
And I'm honestly in shock right now. I'm scratching my head. That timeout, just seems like such a huge tactical blunder. Should this go into overtime, Crusty Old Bread, he'll be kicking himself.
Yeah.
Rise and bring glory.
Once again, they're going to be on a little bit of weaker buy. They do have that one Guardian. Show B presence early. But you see the bait and switch set up A again. it's just so much more prepared vision. He's gotten that extra minute to talk to his team, and I don't know, it's crazy. And Vector able to find a pick going up C towards Sad.
No way. And only Sirius left to defend this B site. Dark cover, they're standing right into it. As the Astral Stars come through, he knows that's the hit. And they're already out on the site there. Silver. Well, what? Shots were labored. Sirius gets away with murder. And right now, 3 left standing for the side of Salvation. It is the advantage, but there's a rolling thunder to answer from Law here. And I mean, the task is tall for Salvation, but this would be to make it come into overtime. There it is. It comes right on through, but he cannot get away from the aftershock in time. Aether left in the clutch. There it is. Takes the first one down. Wildex out of the equation. Removes the tracker dart from the spy cam. Aether looking to come back into this one. Spy cam tapping back onto him, looking for it, and no way. What a blunder by Extra Life there. Overtime it is.
What have we just witnessed?
Switching sides.
The
Overtime.
game, it was so close to coming to an end. Extra Life, all they had to do was play one more round the way that they've been playing, and now they've just thrown it all away. I'm at a genuine loss for words, Robbie.
Yeah, I thought the series was over a few rounds ago. 10 seconds left as teams gather their thoughts. I mean, Storch, this is tense right here. Salvation need this, but Extra Life had it within their grasp. So both teams with a bit of a comeback in mind.
Wow. And a drone gonna come through from Vector towards Garage, preparing for the C hit. Isn't gonna land. A lot of util being thrown. It's gonna draw rotates off of A. And you see Zirconium and Sirius. They're ready to take this space.
And you can see how nervous both these teams are too. Nobody taking quick space of anything. Everything is just very slow, methodical. There's nothing wrong with that, but it's just kind of a testament to the nerves right now and the way that they're playing. Aether landing the first shot there. Zirconium, really good trade, but that confirms where the spike presence is. Gonna have to go for that plant. Very aware they were alone there after shot. Not gonna do anything here. Looking for the stall, but right now we've got a 4v4 retake, and I mean, if Extra Life let this one slip, I mean, it would be so devastating. And so here we are. Retake commenced. Cyber Cage coming right on through. Aftershock actually gonna fend things off for just a second here. We've got the TP going out towards this site. There's the flash. Spy cam spotting the information. And they've had a hard time getting through this choke before. This time looking to make a difference, but the shots are labored. And they get the trades left and right. 2v2, but he gets taken down, and Salvation have grasped the lead.
Switching sides.
Wow.
Match point.
I'll do my job, you do yours.
This is such a huge tactical blunder, and now EXL, they have to scrape for something. They have to try and make some sort of statement this round to justify any use of that timeout. And they have to just try and pick up on these new positions that Salvation are playing. Looks like they're gonna go towards mid here. They go for the C split. Sirius gonna reveal himself, pushed out B, backing up. Law now with the bomb alone, maybe trying to look for some more grass. This could be potentially dangerous. And Aether and Vector gonna trade off 40s. Drone and a shot coming out from Vector though. Oh! And the one
that's
smoke.
That's so dangerous. He just got tagged with that owl drone and he re-goes for the peak. I mean, Extra Life are completely blundering right now. Errors everywhere. Silver already on 8 HP. I mean, what can you really get out of this? I mean, how do you recover this? Going towards A here. Man, this is rough. Looking to get the entry. Wildex Right at the front door. Looking to slam it in their face, but they're continuing to progress into this. Right now, Leo in a decent spot to help fend things off, but Silver's going to be the one to meet this. Paranoia goes his way. Now he knows there's presence towards short as he backs up. They have to commit to this site. 25 seconds left. Make that 20. Silver moving in. It looks like they're going to knife out, run away. It's a very risky play. They don't have all the information on the other side. Again, no recon initiator in this lineup.
10 seconds left.
Zirconium playing this back site. Not quite aware of it. Spike plan is coming down, and he gets it right ahead of it. And there's no way that Salvation have taken this map away from Extra Life.
Defenders win.
A complete blunder. Wow. That is heartbreaking.
How has that just happened, Robbie? That was... What? I was just about, getting ready for bed, getting my eye mask on.
Right?
Getting some pajamas, and then timeout comes through, and Salvation, hats off to Vision there. Phenomenal timeout. Corrected every issue that they had, and somehow able to claw back a victory. And wow, that was a big blunder.
It all started downhill from that timeout. What was it, 10 to 12 at that moment?
Yeah.
I mean, right there is where you're thinking, okay, we're 2 rounds ahead. Let's just go ahead and get it going. Momentum is already in the heads. Confidence is already, filling the comm space. The timeout comes through, and all of a sudden, all of the rounds are lost after that. Absolutely heartbreaking. Going to a map 3 here now. Map 3. Let me think. Where are we going to map 3? I think it's Sunset. Yeah, we're... See...
With EXL.
Yeah. So they're starting on defense, which, I mean, it's a pretty decent side to start on that map. I mean, at least you get to, play it a little more calm, play a little more back, because, I mean, they're playing passive right now, and they're probably going to start with that same style. Or maybe get in their faces, but I mean, this is just... I wasn't expecting to go to this 3rd map, so I just have no idea what to expect right now.
Yeah, and I mean, for EXL, you have to be thinking, somebody has to help Silver. It feels like Silver is doing it all. And, Salvation, they were just able to find answers for every other play. And EXL, they're going to lose the map that could have easily been theirs, and if this ends up preventing them from going to playoffs, I mean, I would frankly be humiliated.
Yeah. Definitely a rough moment indeed for Extra Life. Nonetheless, props to Salvation. Amazing map, well played there. I mean, to be down 12-10 and you're down 1-0 in the series, usually what goes through people's mind is, okay, we're down in the series. This is our last map to make it happen, right? And we're down 12-10. We're basically just out of it. And I don't even think they had that big of an advantage going into the 12-10 round 2. And just all of a sudden, the micro just looked really good. The shots started connecting. And they just pull through 4 rounds in a row, 12-10, and they won 4 rounds in a row, going into overtime and just take the map away just like that to force it into a map 3. Now, if Salvation take this series in reverse sweep after that comeback that we just saw in Haven, I will be thoroughly impressed.
Me too. Wow. This 5-minute intermission is going to be very much needed for the players on EXL and me. I'm at a genuine loss for words. I cannot think of what to say.
Me too.
What have we just beared witness to?
And on that note, folks, grab some water because we are going to a map 3. We're in it for the long haul. We'll see you on the other side. Ladies and gentlemen, welcome back. We hope you're all hydrated after a heartbreaking map number 2 there for Extra Life. But on the flip side, Salvation feeling really good about that comeback right at the last minute. So forcing things right on to Sunset, and Extra Life starting on that defense half where they started on Haven. Felt pretty good with it, looked good as well. So definitely expect to see some big fights going on this map.
Yeah, in the last meeting between these two teams, I mean, they did play on Sunset, and the final score was 12-14 for Salvation. And we've seen EXL improve so much since that last matchup. I mean, honestly, I'd favor EXL going into this.
Yeah.
Oh.
And wait a minute, folks. We are getting news from our match moderator here, so give us just a second as we figure out what the situation is. Looks like Salvation is going to have to grab another player from their roster that is available as one of their current players that's playing in this match. Wi-Fi gets shut off in 17 minutes. So, gonna have to get another player here. And we are not shy to the tech.
Yeah.
And now, while we wait for this to happen, I want to kind of look into what we just got comp-wise on Haven from both these teams. So obviously, on the side of Extra Life, we got that Yoru Jet. We weren't expecting the solo Breach. Obviously, Sunset is way less, in my opinion, a bit less forgiving to comps like that, I would think. Just, you know, the close corners and the way you have to clear space moving towards the sites, and especially how mid-control works as well. Especially got that new box. Got a lot of spaces to really worry about in that space, so I don't really expect them to pull out this same double duelist comp. And on the flip side, Salvation, you can kind of actually play this one-size-fits-all style, because the exact comp that they just played here on Haven is a comp that will work for you on Sunset, probably with Wildex on Neon or Raze, with respect to that being the one swap, though.
Yeah, I think for Sunset, I wouldn't say there's a lot of room for innovation, it's just a lot of things are good. I mean, with the new Cypher changes, it's not as strong, makes Sova a little bit weaker. I already wasn't, like, the biggest advocate for Sova on that map. I think one pick that up to this point has been a little bit esoteric, that I think could be very good going forward, is actually a Fade. I really like how he plays on that map, and I think with a Raze it can be really good.
Yep.
A Fade Breach comp I'd like to see.
No, I totally agree. I especially think with the Sunset changes, Nick and I were talking about this on the cast earlier in the Corner Campers and Times matchup as well, because I think we got Sunset in that matchup, and we talked about how the changes on Sunset kind of lend itself to a little bit of innovation in terms of initiators. I definitely agree, though. Probably Sentinel-wise, you'll probably still stick to a Cypher. Controller-wise, you'll probably have an Omen. Maybe some teams will flex onto the Astra, but most likely just an Omen in that place. And of course, you've got your Breach Raze or Breach Neon combo. And then the middle is where things get a little flexible these days. A lot of teams are exploring away from that Sova now that Cypher presence is not as threatening as it used to be. At least I would like to think. And so you see Gecko picks now. I've seen like a KO comp, KO Breach comp. We've seen some Fade Breach. So I definitely agree with you. I'd love to see some Fade here, because I think she lends herself very well on this map.
Yeah, no, I think definitely. I mean, you talked about Sentinel and how Cypher is the best pick, and I definitely agree with you. But there is a little bit of more wiggle room now for like a Vice, or maybe even like the rare like 5% pull out of pocket chamber.
Yeah.
I think if you look at a map for chamber, Sunset does work very well for him. The reason why he's not a common pick is because of how powerful other Sentinels such as Cypher or Vice are. But I do think if it were to be something that you could pull out maybe later in this season and into playoffs, where, you know, maybe you've played Sunset a few times, teams are starting to counter-strat you, you might want to pull it out of your back pocket at some point.
Yeah. No, I totally agree. I think that Chamber would be a really cool pick on Sunset. We saw a Chamber earlier on Ascent. Wasn't too sure how I felt about it, still scratching my head on it, but I think on Sunset it's definitely a lot more viable on this map, just the way that the map plays itself. There's also a lot more closer corners, especially, I mean, he got that buff, right, to the range of his Rendezvous, so there's so many open opportunities. I think he's great at mid as well. You throw that Rendezvous into market, and then you could just walk out mid, close door behind you, and just keep that space, go for some fights, and then obviously concede by just TPing right on out. You can do the same thing top mid as well. Throw a Rendezvous top mid, and then jump onto that little ledge over by the palm trees, and then look over towards tiles. So there's a lot of really cool little off angles you can create with the Chamber because of that Rendezvous and the way that he's able to play those off angles. And I think that Sunset is a really good map for that. Sunset's very straightforward in the way that, like, obviously if you're going to go towards A site, you're trying to take that elbow control and then obviously have like some sort of main presence on like a Sentinel. And then on B site, obviously you're taking back site control, maybe every once in a while going for Boba, and then every once in a while going for that market space. And I think that Chamber just really helps go into those spaces because his Rendezvous has enough range to be able to safely get out of them as well. Similarly to the way that they were playing Yoru, actually.
I think the only thing that we're waiting for still for Chamber to maybe be considered a bit more by teams outside of like the Pacific region is a little bit of a tweak to the trademark.
Yeah.
I think trademark right now is incredibly weak. You know, you can really only use it if you're playing near your team or you're playing back in main. And that's why Chamber can be used on Lotus. It's because, you know, you have that trip. It's such a wide map, and the trademark is very forgiving for wide maps. It's just the lengthy maps that it isn't very, and it's actually useful to play back in the mains, and so it's nice. But outside of Lotus, you know, he just loses so much value from his trademark.
Yeah. And I definitely think when it comes to locking down those sites as well on Sunset, my mind just always goes back to Cypher, of course, because, I mean, once again, Sunset is also another dive-heavy map in terms of a lot of teams are just running that neon. You go for that early A scaling, you just get a dart in that little window there, and then a flash to pair with it, and the neon just slides right on in. I think that Chamber's good in those scenarios because obviously you can go for the shots and then like TP out, but then now you're dealing with that aftershock towards site, and then now you're getting, you know, crunched on. So I definitely think that Cypher is still lends himself better in the current meta and the styles that we see on Sunset, but
yeah,
I mean, meta isn't that big of a conversation here in VLEC. I feel like there's a lot of innovation, and I feel like teams take themselves out of the meta on purpose and find really fun alternatives to the ways to play these maps. And so I think that that's also one of the reasons Chamber's very viable, especially in this environment.
Yeah, Chamber also very hard to counter-strat against. VLEC Season 1 with Rendezvous, you know, the second place team I actually played for them was GM. We played against Rendezvous in the lower finals, and the map that we lost to them was that Ascent. Even though we'd spent hours counter-stratting, it's just so hard to play around because he has that get out of jail free card. And even though we might have counter-stratted, that doesn't affect how we naturally play the game. You don't naturally play the game like an enemy can just take a stupid fight and get out.
Yeah. We've got news here. We actually are able to get this third map underway, and I'm actually very excited about this. Although we are so late into the day here, it is 1 a.m. EST for us in the Eastern Standard time zone, but nonetheless, I mean, that just makes all this much more exciting, Storch. The adrenaline is pumping. We got the late night games going. I think this is the latest we've been this tournament so far. So hearing from our match moderators that the team are ready to start, I mean, this is it. This is all on the line for both these teams. You're either out or you're in the playoffs.
Now, if I'm either coach, what I'm saying to my team this game is get active.
Yeah.
That is the main thing that they need to focus on. The duelists, they just, I mean, with respect to Vision correcting that in the last, like, 3 defense rounds for Salvation, the Flash Initiators have not been playing with their duelists.
Yeah. There it is, Silver. Just looking at his stat line there, he was the MVP from last match. Staying on that Cypher here, Very smart choice. Now, I see the hovers from Salvation. I'm not going to react to them because I know that it's going to be bait. Hopefully we maybe see a chamber though. That'd be fun.
I think that with Silver, should EXL lose this match, there is still time before playoffs. I have no doubt in my mind that he will find another team.
Yeah.
Should he want to? Oh my god.
Please give us the chamber. Okay.
Wait.
Oh. We can still. Well, it'd be kind of weird. Yeah.
Almost.
We did, yeah. Nonetheless, we got the. We sounded so disappointed there. We did get the Gecko Breach, it looks like, on the side of the EXL, and then on the side of Salvation, we do have the Silver Breach. So, pretty standard comps from both teams.
Yeah, I mean, I personally am a big fan of the Breach Gecko. I just like how you can play it really active. You can sort of pocket your duelist more. I do think, though, that it goes better with that Neon over the Raze. I think if you're going to play the Raze, that's when I'd throw in the Breach Fade. The Breach Fade on this map, it just sounds so good. I want to see a team play it. I want to play it. I don't know. I brought up the idea, then I can't stop circling back to it.
No, I'm right there with you, actually. I mean, the thing that's nice about Fade on this map, too, is there's so many rooftop Storch. So there's so many really good spots you can get her eye at and just get a lot of value out of the scans. And I know Sova can do the same thing, obviously. There's really good spots to dart, but I just feel like Fade, Sunset is literally the rooftop map where you can just get so much haunts out of there. And then also the dogs. Just many good spots for your prowlers to go, over towards elbow control. Like, there's just so many good things for her on this map. I feel like the Seize is really good too, especially if you're playing the Raze, like you said. That Seize nade just really good for contesting space. And so I'm excited to see how these comps play out, though. We do have the Gecko, so they're starting things on defense for extra life. So presumably that Gecko may be playing over towards A for most of these rounds. Going to throw that Dizzy into the sky. And on the flip side, on attack Salvation, we've got the Neon Breach combo. So I'm expecting them to be a lot more aggressive here.
Yeah, for sure. I think, the early stun main, they're already pinging for it as well. Might be for a smoke, but I think it's for the stun. Really fast scale here. You're going to get the lurk up from Zirconium. But Silver, they've adjusted to the Sunset changes, Robbie. No more trip for main, they have just info trips. Which, I think that might just be the new way to play Cypher. I think if you want to really hold that B site, the Vice at this point. So they're picking up on that, and Silver doing a great job of just switching based off of Red's changes.
Yep. Well said. And folks, this is the last map of the series, Extra Life versus Salvation. If you're at home, don't make too much noise. It is very late, 1 a.m. over here in Eastern, but we're still rocking with you. Aether going down in first blood here. Law looking for a follow-up, but it's quick control taken by Salvation. And just like we said in that pregame, it is very aggressive approach. Zirconium already on a fast flank here as well. You do have that tripwire and a cam here, so you can see how early they would just want to shut down this lurk presence on this map right now with the spy cam and the trapwire. Nonetheless, coming into the retake, only 3 left standing for Extra Life. Onto the sides, a very quiet approach from both teams. Dizzy comes right on through to activate things. Commenced, and there it is. Mosh pit towards backside, and the bodies just drop. Very well done from Salvation.
Yeah, great round from them. Just flooding the site, getting their picks. I think one thing that we forgot to mention, Robbie, when we were talking about how these two teams have played against each other on this map before, this is the best opportunity we've seen to date this season for counter-stratting, right? I mean, it's just, it's a whole nother thing. You can look at a team playing against another team, and they could have a completely reactionary playstyle, and you don't get anything from watching the VOD. But here, seeing it play against your playstyle, you can really control the flow of the game.
Yep. That's a really good point. And this time towards mid. Get a bit of a look into this one. Trying to see what does the market pressure look like. Gonna back off the engagement. Aldrone coming right through. It's already slowly coming into this B site, and Sad just completely going down there. Not ready for the push through. Silver. Little bit of a stab in the back here towards the door and market. Gonna be a bit wary of it, but nonetheless, rest of his team getting ready for the retake over here towards Boba.
Yeah, Leo gonna find a pick onto Silver, and Sirius onto Law. 2 picks, 5v2 now.
Player standing.
And Dom, you just have to try and get 1, maybe even 2. And then a successful round for him, but
Team ace.
not much going on for EXL right now.
Yeah. And I mean, the other thing that you got to think about going into this map as well is, I mean, Salvation are coming off the back of momentum. I mean, that last game, it was 12-10, and Salvation just win 4 rounds in a row to win 14-12. And so here they are winning the pistol in that eco round, and so this is where it kind of starts to stack against Extra Life. And so they're going to have to stop the bleeding super early here if they want to keep the mental in check.
Yeah, I mean, they are going to be extra wary, I think, this game about their timeout usages. And so it might end up biting them in the butt.
Ether looking for the opening once again. This time Wildex winning it off against Law, but he gets forced right back into the aftershock. Right now the utility looking really good from Salvation on this attack. Nonetheless, does get trades coming through. Flash, Aether really good with the satchels and the movement, but down to 46 HP. And the shock to take him right on down, and that's all she wrote. The duelist on the side of Extra Life taken out of the equation. Now we do have a 3v3 here. Spike gonna get planted towards the site. Sad over here does have the main control. And from CT, we've got Silver and Dom looking to come into the retake, but a triple swing coming out from Salvation in the discipline. Looking so good so far this game, but what a shot from Sad right there. Right off the back of the stun, and they're looking to recover this one, coming into it. 1v1, looking for it, 7 HP, and there's the headshot from Dom. And so much damage has been done by Salvation. I have to give it to them still for how much they've done there.
Yeah.
But there it is.
I mean, phenomenal round from them. 7 HP on Dom. Maybe a shock dart could have killed them.
Yeah.
And now, if you're EXL, you have to try and take towards mid here, I think. You have 1 rifle on Dom. You can smoke like deep right on bottom mid. Like you give them the opening to peek, Dom holds, they rush tiles. It would be such a good strat here, but you know, they're just gonna try and play slow. Obviously opting for the save because they've lost so many rifles.
And what I like about this look too is that Neon just slides right into that market angle, looking to catch someone off, trying to close the door here. So you can see how every single round Salvation are just looking for some micro piece, but Aether pushing A there with the Sheriff, able to do his damage alone towards that extremity, but right now the hit's coming over towards the B site. Spike a little bit delayed here. Mosh Pit to fend off the backside position. Aggressive spy cam does tag out Sad, but double backside control taken by 2 initiators on the side of Extra Life, and you see them turning around. Aether still exploring this territory. What in the world? The Valorant timing there is insane. That's got to be studied.
Yeah, and if he hits that first bullet, he has the time to get out there, but can't quite. Still, 3p4 retake for EXL. Aether, he's done a really good job so far.
30
Vector,
seconds
gonna
left.
look towards mid, trying to hold Leo's plant. Leo looking towards Ali. 3v2 now. Big pick from Vector. EXL, they have the huge advantage here. Paranoid coming through. The whip from Dom.
Oh! Oh.
1 enemy remaining.
The spams come through. Leo! He actually invests the Rolling Thunder into it, but it misses! And Sad takes away the defuse there. A bit of a blunder from the breach on the side of Salvation, but nonetheless, Extra Life getting that defuse, and what an awkward round to get it.
Yeah. I'm not exactly sure what the plan was there with the turnaround to elbow for the Rolling Thunder. Felt a little bit forced. I mean, using the ult to win the round, I agree with that. just, util usage time and time again, both teams have been really struggling to use it correctly.
Yeah.
Go, go, go.
Once again, same game plan here. Not able to catch him out though. Silver able to get away with getting the door closed. Popping the cage there, and it's a nice cam. It actually gets that early mid information towards back mid, but looks like the attention is up here towards top mid. Taking out the trip. Fast lane comes right on through, but the paranoia stops them temporarily. And right now they've turned mid into a choke point. Dom looking to fend things off. The Rays baiting it out, looking for it. Shots are a bit labored, gonna have to disengage, but Law coming around the corner has gotten two. Okay, Vector with an answer of his own onto Aether. Right now, 4v3, make that 3v3 serious. Landing onto his back with the backstab in a full fight here towards mid, as they're gonna have to recover this spike. And they do.
Yeah, and here, Plant's gonna come down on the A site.
Spike planted.
Silver has Zirconium watching him like a hawk, but Vector gonna get caught out by Sad. Silver, will he reclear this mid? He will! And Zirconium's able to catch him out, counter neural theft active. 1 HP on Sirius, Robbie.
Yeah, and he's gonna have to get out of dodge here. Oh, they thought the spike was towards default. Dark cover actually goes towards the other spacing, but Zirconium shots are whiffing here. You can see the tiredness and the nerves landing into the mechanics of the players, but Diffuse comes right on through for extra life, and they keep themselves ahead.
Yeah, and I mean, it's such a challenging mental game for both teams, and first time out here, gonna come out very early from Vision. Maybe trying to correct some, like, mental issues right now. If you're Salvation, you sort of feel like you really have to prove yourself this match. Because last match, if I'm a Salvation player, I'm thinking, oh, maybe I didn't fully, I don't feel like I created that win. I feel like that win was created for me. And, if you're an EXL player, obviously, your mental is probably in the dumps right now after what just happened in that previous match. I think both teams just need some time to reflect and have their coach, calm them down.
Yeah, you're absolutely right. And you mentioned this very early timeout. Definitely think after the series, better early than never. So Vision looking to get into things here. And I might not like it. I don't mind it. Stop the bleeding before it gets a little bit too much. And I'm sure the comms at this point as well. I mean, we are in map 3. I mean, we went into overtime in map 2. Map 1, was a bit dominant. So I just look at the narrative that's been painted this series, and these players have been through it. A roller coaster of emotions, if you will. And I think that this was definitely a really good chance for him to restabilize.
Spy cam coming out early from Zirconium onto A. He's going to make some noise alone. Grabbing orb. They still don't know about the presence of Leo and Sirius, but Showstopper coming through. Can't find one, and it does. Sirius is down. But the repick from Leo onto Dom. And all of a sudden, Wowdex getting picked off onto B site. Salvation are just so spread right now.
Yeah, and this is not a good look. It's not together. It's not principled. So definitely going to have to fix this going into that, and I presume that's what that timeout was for. Now, they're on an eco round, so looking for any damage that they can grab here. But this is definitely something that's going to have to be figured out for those rifle rounds, because you're in the last map of the series here. You still have that chance even though you're down.
Salvation gonna look towards more for top mid. They're gonna back
30
up here,
seconds left.
and Robbie, they're going straight into the open arms of Law.
Yep.
Sheriff in hand for Vector. Leo does have that rifle, and he's gonna pick out Law, and that's the opening. They have their way in. Now it's all up to Ether to try and deny this plant with his nade. And his plant is safe, which means that he's going to be able to catch it out. Vector gets bombed down. He's going to get picked up. And Ether, he gives up a 1. And now, 2v1, suddenly it's looking very winnable for Leo. He can isolate this pick onto Sad. And out comes
At
the
some
ult.
point, gotta worry about the behind. Yep.
I don't think that ult was necessary, Robbie.
Yeah, a bit of an overcook there. I mean, he wasn't aware of the Cypher crunching in on him. Definitely think that if he kept the pacing that he did and Gecko made the noise, it would have been fine, but you can see how much they want these rounds, that's for sure.
Vibe check, we feeling good?
Yeah,
Hope
and
hope so.
I mean, EXL taking an early lead here could potentially try and snowball this now. They do have Rolling Thunder online. Hunter's Fury is online for Salvation, although, you know, this isn't really the best map for Hunter's Fury. I feel like just aren't that many extremely long angles apart from maybe from like elbow through mid.
Passive approach here. Spy
Yeah.
cam looking for the B information. You can see them working up towards this mid space as well. They're just trying to bait reactions. I love this look right now from Salvation.
I think maybe they've spent the first 5 rounds and then they were on an eco. Just trying to create patterns that EXL would fall into. And maybe they're trying to capitalize off of that here. I don't know if
Yeah.
that might be me overcooking a little bit in my brain, but definitely seems like a possibility. Flash gonna come through, Trip's getting broken. Dom forced to fall back. Ether gonna find the pick on his Furious. Now Ether looking for more. Leo, he's able to get the refrag. However, he's all alone on the island now. And 3v2. Are they gonna try and reclear? And Bomb is down though.
Last player standing. Enemy remaining.
Oh my
Oh!
god!
Wow! Dex. Wow.
Wow.
Mm-hmm.
Oh.
All right.
Have we just seen? That was incredible. That was like reminiscent of that series against DSS where WowDex was going insane.
Yeah.
And
That's some
I
good
mean,
stuff right there.
If there's ever a time for your duelist player to step up, it's now.
Mm-hmm. Absolutely.
And wow, I didn't even realize this, but Leo already onto his second, Rolling Thunder.
Aldrone.
Yeah.
Where's the B site? Yeah. Silver. Looking to fend things off. Gonna come through the choke point here, but Mosh Pit right at the doorstep. Aftershock forcing out of the angle. You see the sprays trying to get that pick. It's really awkward. Gonna have to regroup into this one.
Now Zirconium trying to take a fight towards mid. Can't quite do anything about it. Raise nade. Will this last shrapnel catch him out? It doesn't quite. 12 health and he falls. Ether getting really aggressive mid now. Sirius trying to capitalize off of that. Doesn't seem like he's going to be able to. But look, you see the presence here of WowDex towards mid trying to re-clear that out. Long.
Headshot.
Big pick. Gonna try and fall back to sight.
Yeah, and I mean, a job well done. Get one, get out. Law definitely putting a lot on the board this round just from that alone.
30 seconds left.
And flipping we had here. Ooh, and getting a second. And that is huge right now. Left with the spike. Only 20 seconds left on the clock. They may just have to save the rifles here.
Yeah, and it's a little unfortunate, but at the same time,
10 seconds left.
I do believe that, they just didn't have a great buy this round. And so, no picks. It's unfortunate, but not the end of the world. 5-3, I think this would be the place where if I were Salvation, I'd want to use my first timeout, but of course, I've already used it so early. And so now, kind of have to play the waiting game until, they're down by 5 rounds. And Ether, so far this game, I sort of feel like he's just been a bit of like a lioness, like just going in, really going for the hunt, trying to find those picks, and it's been working. His team's been able to support him so far.
Yeah. This time, Law, he's been figured out. They've got his number. Taking him down onto the entry here. The breach on the side of Extra Life, not able to survive. Utility. Neural Theft to come right on through to top things off. And they're aware of where these retake positionings are coming through now. Presumably Extra Life going to slightly mold this to look just a little bit different. Put a little bit more unexpected pressure. We have Silver going to try to battle it out over here towards main. Does have 2 cages to get him through this, and that he does. And now Dizzy coming through towards site, commencing things over here towards the site, and Silver has done his job from main. That's exactly what you need out of him. Rolling Thunder to come through, and Hunter's Fury. And OK, Vector looking for it, but running right on through the cage from the breach hole. Almost taking him down, but Extra Life still running away with that round somehow.
Yeah, and not even Rolling Thunder invested. That's beautiful for them, actually. Either 7 out of 8 onto Showstopper and then 3 other ults on the board. And then the only one that they don't have is the easiest ult to farm in the game, apart from maybe Run It Back.
Mm-hmm.
I think, you know, EXL, they've been playing really well as a team this game. You see that just even with the scoreboard. A lot more balanced on kills as opposed to the usual Silver domination.
Yeah.
Now, Leo seems to be emerging as a new hero for Salvation. Save round, they're going to come contact at mid. Drone's here. Sova drone. They come through, spots out Dom. Dom's going to have to back up, and they're through.
No theft. Looking for the shots, not going to come through. Look at them going towards market now. I mean, Silver's playing so dynamic around this right now. And the team just knows exactly what they need to do at every single time, and there it is. A flawless round from Extra Life. And man, they're running away with this map right now.
And you know what I think this speaks to, Robbie? I think this speaks to effort. I think Salvation, they came in to this season gunning. And EXL, they were behind the curve a little bit.
Yep.
Salvation, it seems like they got very overconfident with how they were playing in their first game. And maybe didn't feel like they need to put in that effort, but it is clear as day right now that they have underestimated their opponents significantly. And EXL are just able to pick up on that because they've clearly put in so much work since the last time that they played.
You are absolutely right. And the thing about it too is, like you said before, this is one of those games where you can really get that counter-stratting going as well, because these teams have went against each other. And now Silver looking to come out towards market. 2 shots looking really good from him. Make that 3. And he is the hero of this series right now. 4 on the round for Silver. And a flawless once again from Extra Life. And Salvation staring down the barrel of being knocked out of the tournament right now. And this is a really good redemption for Extra Life, I have to say.
Silver, I mean,
Last round in the
really
half.
proving himself here. You know, you kind of do have to expect that EXL, they'd have more preparation coming into this match because it's all they've had to prepare for the last month, right? They've had that bye against Zeta, and so now they've had all this time, but they've capitalized on it, and I am thoroughly impressed. Second time out coming out here from Vision, and now EXL, they have no external help.
And I mean, this makes me nervous for Salvation as well. This is the second time out used in the first half. It's 8-3 here. And obviously you don't want to be down 9-3. So coach definitely talking about how can we secure this 4th round here, this 4th win, and just try to even things as much as we can going into the second half. Because I mean, they need this round, then they need pistol plus the eco, and you know, even better to get that bonus. I mean, if they can string those rounds together, they're back in this. But if not, If they lose this round and they don't win the next pistol, I just don't see it happening.
Yeah, and look at how impossible this hill feels to climb. No ults other than from the shadows and probably a an overdrive for salvation, and then you have the neural theft, and then you have the CT sided from the shadows, which is actually nice on this map for long rotates. And then obviously probably the best ult on the map right now is the Rolling Thunder.
Yep. We actually use that from the shadows to get that B main information as well, so they're aware that's where the numbers are, but if we look at the minimap here, the spike is actually over towards A in the hands of Zirconium. You have the breach backing him up, so looks like they want to regroup here, but kind of playing with the map here.
Yeah, and look at how they're playing. EXL aren't too willing to rotate. As I say that, they're all rotating over as the overdrive comes out.
And I love this.
Wow.
Almost out.
What a call from Vision. I'm assuming this is from him.
I mean, if you're going to use a timeout, your last timeout, this early, this is how you're going to do it.
Mm-hmm.
Now,
Uh-oh.
so, Rolling Thunder comes through. Cute. Law able to find a pick. There's two coming towards me though. Zirconium standing, unable to find one. Ether, 1 HP now. And off Vector. Okay, Vector from the behind.
Standing.
Tries to get down Wingman, 1v2, and he can't find it. Law with 3 on that retake. He goes absolutely huge.
There's so much happened there. There's so much to follow. But you called it very well, and I have to say, that round right there, I mean, I love what they were doing, Salvation. I mean, and they were playing with the fake towards B, right? You get the overdrive popping, you go out towards B side, even slide back site, take full control. You just walk up A, get the free plant, but once again, like we harped on in the series, the post plant was weak, and that's exactly what got to him.
Yeah, and I mean, both sides, as you've said, have been really struggling with that post plant. And, you know, EXL, I think they might try to opt for, you know, push into market, you know, trying to push into deeper extremities, take that space away. Because I think that's where Salvation are really going to feel flustered.
It's a big fight coming over here towards B main. And they're looking to contest it right now. A 4v3 right here on the map. Looking to go into Wildex here. Shots a little bit labored, able to take one down. The fight so far not going the way of EXL at all. Salvation winning this one out. A really good way to start off this defense.
And Wildex, he's on 1 HP. But if there is anyone who is able to clutch this round, it would be this man right here, Silver.
Yeah, I mean, it looks like they might have their backs turned as well. There's a cam looking towards mid. Goes for the first shots. It's labored. Yeah, he's tired.
Whiff, yeah. Okay, deep breaths, everyone. Yeah. Still got a game in front of us. Salvation showing they're down but not out. 9-4 now. No, you have to think it's definitely going to go to 9-5. And Wildex, he went big in main there. He got 2, got some chip damage, and, you know, somehow comes out. Can't say unscathed, he was 1 HP, but alive nonetheless. Now, EXL, they've opted to go towards mid, but look at where Vector is running. All the way up B. Wildex is going to get a pick. And the members of EXL, they're going to be stuck in mid as Vector comes down. But sad, he's aware. Gets
Spike
picked off
down
though.
mid.
Looking to keep control of the space, and that was spiked down as well, but not going to be able to maintain it. Okay, Vector going to opt to just sit towards the spawn here, and I mean, they have full passive information of the map right now on the side of Salvation. Cypher with his setup towards A can see A main and anybody going towards elbow. And I mean, you've got the push towards B main. They're just completely circled.
Yeah. I mean, there's no reason to believe that they're gonna win this round, let alone.
One enemy remaining.
Oh wait, Ether able to find a pick though. Finds another. Wow, those are two really big picks from Ether there. When the round looked like it was about to be a flawless, he's able to get two, and that's a bulldog down, Robbie. I don't really know what the other gun was, but that's some important weaponry, and now it's a few light shields, there's the Guardian Fulls, but then there's Gordy Classic, EXL. They just look at so much of an advantage this game going into this round, and Ether able to finally pick up the pace and show why he's the duelist for EXL.
Revealing area.
Sobadar not gonna get any scans onto B. Vector opting to push up again. Can fall back though. Opting for the drone. This is really heavy retake util being forced out early. And now Vector left with 2 shocks and a dart and 20. Not much. But Leo able to find a rifle. Gets a pick onto Silver when he's looking at B. Or A, sorry. That's a huge pick.
Yeah. Huge pick indeed. I mean, they still have 2 here to defend B. Zirconium being one of them on that Cypher, but gonna have to back up for just a second. As soon as the dark cover goes away, Vector, or OK Vector, almost caught out in the open there, but still with the Spectre in hand, gonna go for the shots and does take down Dom. And the numbers have completely shifted. Sad, 1 to 1 HP here. Law left to be able to do the damage. Aftershock gonna come right on through for the spike tap here. Looking for the small gap, but Leo on the flank does the work, and that is it. Defuse comes through for Salvation.
Right there.
Yeah, and here must come the timeout.
He's probably treading real lightly around that button right now.
Yeah, but I mean, better to use it now than, a little bit later down the road when it's 12-6 for EXL and he calls it. So, no.
There it is, yeah.
And there it is, yeah.
Your timing's always perfect with those.
Crusty old bread, he has had, apart from the one blunder, very good, recognition of when a timeout is needed.
Yeah.
I don't think that that's a mistake that he's gonna make again. I think, lesson learned, and never again in any coaching position he's ever in will he ever make a mistake like that.
Yeah. And I mean, especially when the pressure's on like this.
Yeah. I mean, we were talking earlier about success rate coming out of these timeouts. EXL, I don't think that they've had the best success rate coming out of them. Granted, they are often before an eco round, but Salvation, Vision, he's done so well converting off of every timeout, formulating a pre-round for every round. And, almost feels like he's the second IGL with the amount of timeouts that he's getting to, create plans with.
Yeah. Here we are, right off the back of this timeout. Gonna look at what the response is here from Extra Life. See the spike down over towards A. Bit of a default over here towards B. Trying to look for the information. I mean, because so far Salvation love control of this B space. I mean, look, OK Vector's literally just taking the orb out in the open there. Gonna back up off that though. Drone reinvested. Very generous with his ability. Yeah.
Yeah, I have to say, they have been very willing to let go of that drone, and Dom gonna get picked out by Wowdax. Wowdax looking for more now. Gonna find Ether. Gonna find when Ether gets a refrag. Back towards mid now. Down number still though.
Leo
gets
catching a lot of heat here over towards A. This is where the hit is at, but the game plan this round for EXL, deny ult orbs. Look for as many as you can, but Silver, where's he just found himself into?
Yeah, no, he's very deeply inserted in market. And Vector,
30 seconds left.
he's gonna have to catch this out, but It doesn't seem like he's ready for the peek behind him. And the wingman's gonna get cut down. Silver though,
enemy remaining.
able to find one more. And Ether and Silver able to get one on that round. Honestly, not a horrible save round. Showstopper now online.
Yeah, and
EXL.
4 rounds in a row for Salvation. This
Yeah.
is where you start asking questions. Yeah.
I think it's slip a little. I think should they lose this round as well? This is only the second rifle round of the half for them. I honestly think it might be time for timeout number 2. I think
Especially if this is a round loss, yeah. Wait,
Vector. I'm gonna drone.
5 seconds into the round again. The drone, Storch.
Yeah. I don't know, Robbie. Big piece of util, especially on Sunset. On Sunset, there's some nasty drone pathings. You can get it all the way like 40 meters into the sky in mid. But, you know, you're just gonna opt it to use it B main along with the dart. That's both pieces of intel util used, and only one of them is gonna come back, and it's on a 35-second cooldown.
And there it is. Hunter's Fury comes right on through. Vector looking for damage. He does get it, but the showstopper takes him right out of the equation. Serious towards market. Takes one down, but he's left on pretty low HP. Wilddeck's going to have to be the hero this time around. Serious moving into this market position. They're a bit split here. Might be a call to save, but I'm not entirely sure based off of the way they're moving here. But Serious going for the first gunfight there. Fast lane invested from Wilddex. Looking for that mid lurk. It's not coming through yet. Looks like he wants to look for this 1v4 here. Goes for the first shot. Lands it onto him. But Law taking him down, and there's Extra Life's attack.
Law, you know, he put in a lot of work for that kill. A whole mag, and then
Can I get a
classic. No. EXL finally finding their footing on attack.
Thanks.
You're gonna have to try, if you get some early pressure, can they find this read on the solo cipher A? Doesn't look like they will, however, maybe a change of flow here from Salvation. They look to be pushing up B with the Neon Overdrive. And a really far up drone.
Yeah.
Wow.
I mean, they just love this. And I don't mind it too. I mean, they took control of the space.
But look at the push and pull.
Oh, Serious. Mm-hmm. And the prime spot to stop that presence towards main does take it down. And that's Zirconium's tripwire that helped him with that too. Leo even getting one there on that lurk. Law looking for another flash. Has to come through. There's 3 players here. Another flash, but he dodges it. Have to get out of dodge. Looking for the shots here. Able to land him down. Right now, Sad left by his lonesome towards back sight. No flash to come through. Does take down the first flash. It's a team flash. Gives him an opportunity, but an opportunity not enough. Salvation with the defuse there, and they're keeping themselves in this game.
Yeah, and Sad missed opportunity there, honestly. He had that dizzy back when 3 were alive and opted out of using it. Maybe he could have salvaged that round. And now, EXL, they have 1-1 so far this half. I think, you know, they're pretty safe. Maybe if they lose the next, like, 2 rounds, they can consider another timeout. But for now, I think it's fine. They just have to, you know, be aware of where their opponents are. I think they've done a good job of that. They've done a good job of managing the rotates, getting control of the sites. The problems, Robbie, same as Salvation, the post plants.
Standing ahead.
Dart drone coming out early from Vector. No space taken this time.
Yeah. And this time, I mean, it's so shallow towards B, though. Look at where Zirconium's at. He actually closed the door and went ahead of it.
Yeah, no, I personally love doing that in my gameplay. And it's just so unexpected. I don't know. But look, EXL all grouped up towards B here. Gecko ult gonna come through, gets broken. Gonna be able to easily reclaim though. Now, Sirius and Vector gonna consider maybe a flood if they can. Dark gonna come through. Dom's probably gonna get caught out here. Yeah, Sirius doesn't fall until Vector comes though. Now, Sad gets caught out by Vector. How is he not aware that the Vector is there? Silver deep into market. Has to try and find a way around it. But everything, like decision making wise, for all of EXL this round, it's just been so slow.
Last player standing.
I mean, bit confused there on the game plan. They had a satchel in hand, and I thought he'd maybe throw that through the dark cover to get him off the spike, but instead committing in. And Salvation, I mean, they're clawing back into this. It's getting a bit scary for Extra Life here.
Yeah, this is some interesting gameplay for sure. I think that, the only positives I can say about the attack half from both teams so far this game has been the econ management. Everything else has just been a bit lackluster.
This goes here.
Now, do you want to see Salvation try and get a little bit more activity, maybe towards A side, which it looks like they might try and stun off contact, play for that neon slide. This could go huge, Robbie.
Yeah, and who better to do that than Wildex too? Leo
Spike down.
claims the first blood of the round, but Wildex getting really eager to the occasion. There's the Rolling Thunder right on through. Overdrive invested. Looking for the pick here, but the paranoia was not enough to stop it. Dom still getting the trade though. But only 2 left players standing for Extra Life, and once again on their back foot here. And Salvation have made a huge comeback happen. But it's not over yet. Law still looking to get back into this one full utility. And as I say that, Dom gets taken down. Double peak comes right on through, and the team ace is underway for Salvation. And a comeback is underway. So far this half, they have won 7 rounds, and XL have only gotten 1.
Robbie, I have to say, there is something that I am burning to mention right now, but I will not for the sake of Salvation. And
Right here.
I think you might know what I'm
Yeah.
talking about.
Yeah,
But
I
we
mean,
have not seen one yet this VLE, and we have mentioned it almost every time, and this is the only time that we haven't mentioned it. All I'm saying.
it's over. Now it's over. It's gotta be over off that one. Early outro, though, comes through. Ooh. I like the Paranoia refight here.
Yeah, no. And this Roomba, it's gonna come through. Clear out. But Wowdax, as the smoke's dropping, gonna find that pick. And you have to think, regardless of the outcome of this round,
Mosh pit.
that EXL probably used that timeout.
Okay, everyone on XL, or most of them, are in their spawn right now. What is happening?
Down A.
Oh!
There we go.
Player standing.
What?
Little damage
Wait.
there.
Not again. Look at Wowdax.
How does he manage to do that?
HP.
Every
Every
round, it
time,
feels like.
Robbie.
Yeah. That's crazy. I mean, Dom's got a chance. Oh, okay.
The flick
My
was,
bad.
That was a wild flick. Spoke a little,
Yeah.
a little too late, Robbie.
Yeah. Oh my goodness. Well, it's still okay.
Yeah, there
We've
it
been in
is.
similar territory here, but I definitely think that this time around, it is definitely safe to say this is much better timed.
Yes. This, honestly, had EXL won last round, I still would have called the timeout if I were crusty old bread. If I were crusty old bread, I'd also, hope that somebody would eat me before I started, growing mold. But
Yeah, I mean, this right here, this timeout is much needed, though, from the side of Extra Life. This comeback is so dangerous. Extra Life have worked so hard in this series, and especially the heartbreaking last map that they had. I mean, this would be even more heartbreaking to go down like this when you thought the series was over when a player had to go, but then now you come into the map, you're up a lot of rounds in the first half, and then boom, you only win 1 in the second half and lose 8. I mean, just Salvation have shown such a masterclass when it comes to staying in it. And they have really shown the essence of down but not out in this series right now. And I have to give it to them. So well done from them. I mean, we saw this in their first, lineup. I expected it, honestly, in the series earlier. And so they're showing us what they gave us the first time around, but Extra Life still have a chance. I mean, they've been fighting hard against the team they lost against the first time.
Yeah. And, Rolling Thunder gonna come out. And not much gonna happen off of it. Honestly, EXL, they're looking very, very scrappy right now, but not in a good way. And Leo gonna find a huge pick onto Silver. And now it is all but over for the round. And Vector able to find 2 with that Hunter's Fury. That is ginormous for Salvation.
Whew. The HP is low. Extra Life in a very awkward position in this mid-round right now. And I mean, full map control. Look at how cornered they are. There's just nothing to give. An Extra Life scratching their heads over here towards B main. Vector here to defend the B site. But I mean, even if he goes down, there's so many other players ready. He's done damage onto 3 players with his Hunter's Fury, and he's continuing to just do damage and live. Although the spike does get planted here. A 5v3 retake underway, and they're going to invest the showstop here. They definitely need the round. They tap onto the spike, force it off. Flash comes right on through, pushing through there. And all of the bodies drop at once. Salvation, 12-10. Now, this is exactly what we had last map, Storch, but the roles are now reversed. Can Salvation close it out?
I mean, Salvation, they don't have the timeout to use, so I think they probably will close out the map since Vision, he can't call it.
Yeah.
I do also, think that for EXL, the players, they were looking very, very uninspired. And it seemed like the coach tried to set them up with, some round ideas. But I think what they really needed there was a rallying cry, and I don't think that that's what they got.
Yeah. It all comes down to this.
Spike down mid.
Not a way to start it, and that's 2. And right now, only 3 players left standing for Extra Life. Salvation, 1 step closer. 3 kills away from securing their fate to go into the playoffs and knock EXL out of the tournament. Regroup over here towards A. Fight slightly going their way. Leo gonna have to back off the engagement here. The disengage comes through, but Silver taking a fight towards B main once again. Salvation have them cornered down to a T. There it is. Fight by Leo gets awkward. Gonna have to back up, but he can't. Dom with the spray through the Radiant crates and the Neural Theft to even come through. And that is the information.
Shadows traveling.
Plant.
Spike planted.
Coming right on through. Forcing right through CT here. I don't know if he's aware that he's got through, and there it is. A man down. Dom getting the trade from the shadows to get right out of here.
Silver.
He goes for the safety. And it's up to Sirius. One more round. Yep. They're staying in this one more round.
And Salvation, they feel it. They know they're so close. And Sirius, he got those picks with that op early. They just gave up so many ones. They needed to play back to their sights. Play the 5v3. But no. They were thirsty for more blood. They wanted it to end faster. And it ended up losing them the round. And now EXL, they're right back in this.
Standing ahead.
And Dart can be missed by Ock Vector in the most important round of the game.
There's that drone instantly. There we go.
Yeah. Wow. And now EXL, they're grouping up towards this A. Silver, he might try and look for a little bit more on a flank. Wowdex, he's ready for the peaks to come through. Spots out Sad. Dom is there to help him. Ether as well. Gonna contact up Leo. Spots out that they're there. He's gonna fall back a little bit, play for that stun.
Both
Very
teams playing this
slowly
very
played.
carefully. Yeah. Slow and steady. There it is. The stun comes right on through. Wildex handling the choke well. That's a way to start off this round here. Looking to close things off. There's number 2. Looking for 3. Not going to be able to grab it. Play safely here. And Sirius answering with the operator. Numbers dwindling for Extra Life. One step away from coming out of the tournament. Aether with the follow-up there. There's 1. There's 2. Cage comes through. Not able to land off the third quite yet, but the paint shells force him out of position. But Sirius on top of the box, taking him down. Aether gonna have to get the ace clutch to stay in the tournament for Extra Life. Gonna have to get the reload. Only 12 seconds left on the clock. Running right into the operator, and that's it. Salvation have done it. Oh my goodness.
Robbie, I have goosebumps right now. If you are a fan of Salvation, you are feeling absolute elation right now. You are feeling like you have been saved. You are feeling, probably a little bit lucky, honestly. They deserve that sunset win. But now, if you're an EXL fan, you're gonna be really stunned right now. They had the series in the bag. It was all but over. And then, just at the very end of that Haven game, that one mistake of the timeout ends up costing them the series.
Yeah, I mean, we talked about, my heart just goes for them. My heart is broken for EXL right now. Now, we must celebrate Salvation. But before we get completely to that, want to talk about this matchup here. Heartbroken for EXL because they have worked so hard to get into this position, and they almost made it happen. I can tell they worked hard after their first series against this team, and they almost took them down right there. And they were 1 round away, and then 4 rounds are just taken away, and the reverse sweep happens from Salvation. The most heartbreaking way to go down and out of a tournament. You got to be thinking about the coach in this moment as well. We're all human. We all have those moments where we feel like we've got the right answer, and sometimes it just isn't quite it. So the roster hopefully not being too hard on themselves, because they have worked so hard to get into this position, and they have shown tremendous improvement. So definitely a round of applause to Extra Life and their showing in this tournament.
Absolutely, and we look at players like Law, we look at players like Aether, and then Silver, man. Silver, absolutely remarkable. Every round, every map, for the whole series. I said this before, I have no doubt in my mind that should he want to continue in VLE this season with another roster, we have that spot. But EXL, maybe they stay together, they come back next season. And I honestly think with that extra time, with that dedication that they've shown us in this past month, the improvement that we've seen, they could be future title contenders in the next VLE season, could they still compete.
Absolutely, yeah. And congratulations to Salvation securing the playoffs right here in this moment of the matchup. And earlier today, we got Times coming through as well. And I definitely think, honestly, Storch, coming into this, 2 unexpected results. Even though Salvation won their first matchup here, it was unexpected because of how the series was going, that we were sitting here watching all together. We all watched the same thing happen here. And man, what an incredible night of Valorant, I have to say. No matter what, every single player tonight should be proud of themselves.
That was such a great match to watch. I have to say, I think I had more fun casting that match than I had actually playing in VLE.
Yeah, that was intense.
It was incredible. It was a whole experience. I felt like I was fully immersed. I felt like, I don't know, I could feel the emotion in the air. I could feel, every little decision. I could understand what the players were feeling, and just such a special game. And I am so happy that I was able to cast it. Wow. Just wow.
Yeah. What an insane matchup here. And right now, waiting to hear from our match moderators to see if we have a post-match interview coming here. But while we wait, I mean, I'm just honestly just grasping everything that we just watched, Storch. I'm at a loss for words. I was at a loss for words at map 1. I was at a loss for words again map 2. And here we are map 3. 9-3 comeback. And you said it. I thought we might have activated the curse. The caster's curse, but it didn't. They still made it happen, Storch. What a comeback. I know the IGL's got to feel so good, too, winning all of those rounds.
Yeah, Vector, I mean, really able to bring it back from, you know, the disaster that we saw at the beginning of the game in Haven. And really, really great job keeping his composure.
Yeah. And Wildex as well. I mean, Wildex, huge performer in this series. I mean, we've said his name time and time again. And you mentioned something during that map that I want to bring up here. You said Leo, a new star on the roster, and I have to agree. I really do, because he has shown incredible performances here on the Initiator, and he seems to know where he needs to be. Right place at the right time to help Wildex get value out of his plays. And honestly, Storch, out of Salvation's gameplay alone tonight, I think we've truly starting to see, you know, the true essence of that Initiator duo with the Duelist play together, because they showed it really well on this map. And OK Vector as well, showing incredible Sova gameplay here on Sunset.
Yeah, I mean, Vector, I mean, I feel like he was a little bit too lenient on his drone usage, but overall, very, very well played with his shock darts and his recon. I think, you know, they absolutely won that series win. Regardless of how they played in that first match, regardless of how they played leading up to overtime in the second match, they tried their best and they came out with the victory. And at the end of the day, that's what I want to see.
Yeah, absolutely. Salvation securing their spot into the playoffs there in really good fashion as well. And that's how you want to do it. Sometimes, like, some teams will look at the scoreline and they're like, man, it was close, it was dangerous, it was too close. But then you look at situations where people like completely wipe the floor with their competition, and it's like, man, both are just as good. If you're that convincing going into playoffs, it means you deserve it. But close score lines like we just saw today with the overtime and then going into this 13-11 victory, I mean, it's also just as deserved and very hard fought too. So exceptional work. Entertaining as well.
Absolutely. And Robbie, what's the update on the interview situation here?
So it looks like we're actually going to get Vision, the coach on the side of Salvation, for a post-match interview. Storch, I think you and I were both waiting for this moment too.
100% win rate off those timeouts.
Yes, 100%. Actually, we should definitely bring that up first. I want to get him in here real quick, folks. We've got Vision, the coach on the side of Salvation, our victors from tonight, coming in for the post-match interview now. He's the coach, so we don't have stats to show for him, of course, maybe except for the 100% win rate coming out of the timeouts. But bringing in Vision here.
Seth, hello?
There he is, Vision. What's up, man? It is honestly a pleasure to formally meet you. Honestly, so first of all, I just want to congratulate you on this win, man. This was absolutely amazing. Yeah, I mean, how are you guys feeling? So I want to go back to map 2. My brain keeps skipping map 1. I want to think about map 2 for a second. So you guys are down 10-12, and you're also down in the series 1-0. And so in my mind as a player, I'm usually thinking, oh my God, like it's just over. We just lost. We're out of the tournament. It's 10-12. And so, boom, immediately the coach from EXL just calls a timeout. What are you thinking in that moment?
To be honest, they sold with the fucking they sold with the timeout.
Mm-hmm.
At the moment they called the timeout, I was kind of like down. I thought we would be lost, to be honest. And then I honestly gave him a motivational speech. I told him I'd like to do won it, right? And then they tried to cut me off, but I kept going. And then I told him what they did wrong. After that, he just like locked in. the comp
Yeah.
improved. Everyone started shooting. It was like so impressive.
Yeah. And it was impressive on our end as well. I mean, it was really good. Just 4 rounds in a row off the back of being down in the series like that. And so we bring things now to Sunset. And here we are down 9-3 and a half. Of course, you guys just had to activate that 3-9 curse real quick and show them some work. You feel me? It was so well done. And so you guys, I think they only won 1 round in that moment. What were the comms like? Because I'm sure you had the insight, right? You heard the comms. What was it like in that moment? Were they feeling excited, or were the nerves still settling in because they had to close it out?
At the end there, once they lost the 11th, once EXL gained their 11th round, I think the nerves got a little iffy. But then once VLEC got 2 picks, everyone started getting hyped, and then they started picking ones. After that, Serious started getting up kills, and they closed the game, and then like everyone was just hyped. It was just great.
Now, not just in this series, but even against DSS, against EXL for the first time, you had that 100% round win percentage coming out of a timeout. Can you give me, like, what are your top 3 priorities going into a timeout? What are you looking to cover?
Alright, in like the first 10-15 seconds, I tell them what they're doing wrong so they can correct it. And then from there, I tell them, like, I try to read what the enemy's gonna do, and then I tell them what to do. Like, I tell them where to play, like what utility to use, and then they win the round from there. I don't know. I on attack on Sunset, I called 2 timeouts, and the first timeout they didn't listen to me at all. They made noise on both sides, and the second timeout, they also didn't listen to me. I don't know. It was bad.
And so maybe a little bit of, just a mental reset, allowing them to still win those rounds?
Yeah, a little bit.
And, how are you feeling after that win? What are you planning on doing for preparation for playoffs?
Tomorrow, we're getting an off day, and then from there, and just scrimming a lot. There's a lot of scrims, a lot of reviews. You definitely need to go over set plays a little bit more. Yeah, and then
great.
Actually, I want to shine light on something you said there, off day. So important, because tensions in this series were definitely high, and making it to playoffs, much deserved by the team. And it's really good to hear that you guys are prioritizing that, because just as much as it's good to have those times where you're getting all those scrims in, getting the VOD reviews in, it's also good to get those rest days, just kind of calm the mind and get ready for competition again. So really good to hear that Salvation's really handling it that way. Now, I want to pick your brain a little bit apart here about the prep going into this matchup. So obviously the first time that you guys met, you guys came out on top. And so my question is, did you feel like coming into this match, because I mean it was 13-4, 14-12, you guys swept the floor first map, and then obviously Sunset was a lot closer, and that's how it was again today too, literally 2 deficit scoreline. And so did you feel like coming into this matchup you just had them dominated, or did you feel like you had to go back VOD review a little bit, while the VODs were up on the Twitch, and then just kind of prep for this a little bit more? How did that feel, the preparation for this?
We came into this really confident. I feel like after the first game on Vine, our mental was a little down. But before every game, I try to remind them, keep the mental high, because when we play with high mental, we do great. And then second game, mental was still low until the last pause, and then everyone started getting high, especially Zirconia started getting really high, bringing the team morale high. Yeah. And the second half on Sunset, everyone was happy. We were all hyped.
Nice.
Yeah, no, going into this series with the map bans, EXL, very first map ban of the series, Van Descent, do you think that hurt you guys? Without really feeling too much about your strategy, about your strength in maps, do you think that, that's the reason the series was so close?
To be honest, Ascent is our best map, but we kind of knew they were going to ban it. So we started practicing other maps. We mainly focused on Sunset, but I don't know what happened on attack. Our defense looked perfect, like it was in scrims. But when they did ban Ascent in the map vetoes, kind of made fun of them because it was obvious they're gonna ban it. But I don't think them banning Ascent made a difference. I had confidence in my team.
Congratulations, man, on the huge win for your team, securing yourself
Thank you.
playoff spot. Good luck in your playoffs run.
Thank you.
Yeah, one step closer to that grand prize. And yes, absolutely, congratulations from us and to you. And honestly, here, do you have any aspiring words to coaches out there?
Try to keep your team's mental high. And that's pretty much it. Try to
Love
keep
that.
your mental high and you'll be chilling.
That's right.
Short and
Keep the
sweet.
mental high and you're chilling. Yep. Short and sweet. Absolutely. Thank you so much, Vision, for joining us for this post-match interview. And once again, congratulations on the win and good luck in the playoffs, man.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Awesome. Now, folks, with that wraps up our night. We've got Salvation here securing their spot going into the playoffs, and then Times also earlier in Storch. That ends off our night, man. Any closing remarks?
I mean, I hope everyone is planning to go to sleep soon after this, regardless of the time zone. I mean, getting close. It's past 11 now, even in far west. Robbie and I, Eastern time zone, 2 a.m. for us. So late night.
Yeah.
Hope you guys all get a great sleep and back, I guess, technically tomorrow for more VLE.
Yeah. It's 2 a.m. over here. Looking at the back end, we've been live for 7 hours today. And on that note, actually, I just want to thank you guys in the chat. I feel like I don't do it enough. I thank you guys for coming into the chat, namely Kita Bay, our #1 fan. Always a pleasure to see you in the chat. We've got the watch parties from Taco Boy here in our Discord server. We've got Ultralight. We've got Alter Ego hosting the watch parties. We've got Bobby here. Great sport in the chat. So thank you, everyone out there in the chat, for watching the matches. And also, Keo, congratulations on the win earlier. And thank you for sticking around in the chat. And so from VLE Challengers to you, we want to thank you for coming and supporting these teams and these players here in the tournament. And we will see you on the next match.
Boom.